Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal Venerable. See playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 641 Purple Chenmu. One more. Yi Tian has full confidence in accepting the mission of the deserted world. In the situation where the innate gods of the deserted world are unable to take action, even if he faces the heaven-defying universe god, although he can't defeat it, he can save his life. The Death Huahuang has already broken through to the galaxy level, and with the supply of my large amount of resources, the Death Huahuang is about to reach the peak of the galaxy level. If it hurts, it is enough to resist the attack of the heaven-defying universe god and not die. Yi Tian thought. It is precisely because he has such a trump card that he dares to enter the barren world. Otherwise, in the barren world full of innate gods, there is almost no way to get the support of the supreme human race. If there is no trump card, he will not dare to enter. Subsequently, Yi Tian took over this mission and got the details of the Desolate Realm mission. The mission in the barren world is mainly to collect a material called Zichen wood. Zichen wood is a kind of wood, which is only available in the barren world. It is the core wood of the Zichen tree, which is relatively rare even in the barren world. As for the use of Zichen wood, it was not mentioned in the mission. In addition, all 29 people who enter the deserted world must wear a bracelet. Once activated, the bracelet can help the user to leave the deserted world. Otherwise, it will be difficult to leave the wilderness. If a space channel is opened, this method is very dangerous, because the innate gods of the deserted world know about this space and send a large number of strong people to ambush, then the human race will suffer heavy losses. Therefore, the human race will only use special methods to send people into the barren world, and then use the bracelet to leave the barren world. Yi Tian also knew from the mission that this time not only the Divine Blade Alliance will send people into the barren world, but also some cosmic clans will send people in. Therefore, the human race not only needs to face the threat of the native creatures in the desolate world, but also the threat of other cosmic clans. This time the mission is very dangerous, but the reward is too amazing, enough to attract many people to go. After taking over the mission, Yi Tian waited for the start of the Desolate World mission. Now, although the Divine Blade Alliance has released the mission, there is still some time before the mission begins. As for when it will start, there is no specific notification from the Divine Blade Alliance, but it only says that it will start in the near future. In the blink of an eye, 10 days passed. This day, the Divine Blade Alliance issued a notice, and the mission of the deserted world began. God Blade Alliance Headquarters. Divine Blade Supreme is listening to a subordinate reporting the situation. Master Shinblade Supreme, there is news from the Tianlin branch of the Shinblade Alliance that the true monarch Wanfa has accepted the mission of the deserted world. Subordinate reports. True monarch Wanfa has accepted the mission of the deserted world. Divine Blade Supreme frowned. Kunwu Supreme asked him to take care of the true monarch of 10,000 laws, but Yi Tian accepted the mission of the barren world. Once he entered the barren world, he could no longer protect Yi Tian. Once Yi Tian really had something wrong in the barren world, he would not be able to rescue him. Immediately, Divine Blade Supreme contacted Kunwu Supreme and explained Yi Tian's situation. Immediately, the two discussed the matter of Yi Tian. In the end, they decided to let Yi Tian enter the wasteland. After all, Yi Tian will go to many places in the future, and there must be places where they can't intervene. Is it possible that they have to be blocked every time? Then how does Yi Tian grow and how to practice? It is impossible to cultivate Yi Tian as a vase in the future, that would definitely delay Yi Tian's growth. Therefore, they will not interfere with Yi Tian's behavior. Tianlin branch. Yi Tian took a spaceship of the Divine Blade Alliance, and then came to the headquarters of the Divine Blade Alliance. At the headquarters of the Divine Blade Alliance, he followed other galaxy-level and galaxy-level powerhouses who had taken the mission of the deserted world to ride on the Divine Blade Alliance. A Shinblade battleship heads to the deserted world. The Shinblade battleship is not an ordinary warship. Its single combat capability is comparable to that of a master. It is one of the trump cards of the Shinblade Alliance. It can be seen that the Divine Blade Alliance attaches great importance to this mission. Shinblade Battleship, a certain cabin. Yi Tian was closing his eyes and resting, when suddenly a figure appeared in front of Yi Tian. Yi Tian opened his eyes, looked at the person in front of him, and said respectfully, "I have seen the Supreme Divine Blade." However, the person who appeared in front of him was not the body of the Divine Blade Supreme, but an incarnation. "Yi Tian, you are brave enough to accept this mission. Others take the mission to give it a try, but you don't need it at all." The Supreme God of Blades said. "Divine Blade Supreme is persuading me not to participate in this mission." Yi Tian asked. "That's not it." The Supreme Divine Blade shook his head. "If I persuaded you, I would have persuaded you long ago, instead of waiting for you to come to you on the way to play in the wild world. I came here this time to remind you, the deserted world is not easy, so be careful after entering." Yi Tian hurriedly asked. "I don't know, can the Supreme Divine Blade introduce some more about the situation in the deserted world?" The Supreme Divine Blade smiled and said, "I wanted to tell you originally, the situation introduced by the deserted world mission is only a small part of the deserted world, such as Zichenmu, you probably don't know what it is useful for. Chenmu was also known to us not long ago for its real use. That is, to entrust the soul, to ensure that the soul is immortal, and to have the opportunity to be resurrected. For example, a cosmic god deposits a trace of his life soul in the purple wood, even if the body falls to the outside world, that trace of the soul will be preserved in the purple wood and will not die, so the cost of resurrection is light. If there is no Zichen wood, if 10 cosmic gods have fallen, the price to be resurrected will be too great, even if the Supreme Being who controls time and space, I am afraid that they can only resurrect the cosmic gods by paying the price of life. Zichen wood is also graded. Ordinary Zichen wood can preserve the soul of the universe god, top quality Zichen wood can save the soul of the master, and golden Zichen wood can preserve the soul of the Supreme. Now, do you know how precious Zichen wood is? Purple Chenmu has such an effect." Yi Tian was shocked. "More than that," God Blade Supreme said again, "if the purple wood is ground into powder, with some materials, it can be refined into an elixir that increases soul power, and a little purple wood can restore the soul's wounds. Sacred Blade Supreme, purple wood is so precious, won't those innate gods in the desolate world control it?" Yi Tian asked curiously. "Ha ha ha, the innate gods in the barren world don't need purple wood, because the barren world is very special, and the innate gods in the barren world are also very special. Their souls have long been placed in the origin of the barren world, and the barren world is immortal. These innate gods are indestructible. Therefore, they don't need purple wood, only the race they created needs purple wood, so it is more difficult to capture purple wood." Divine Blade Supreme explained. "I see," Yi Tian said clearly. Chapter 642 Desolate Demon. Second update. Yi Tian, entering the desolate world, there is one thing that must be kept in mind, that is, do not provoke a race, that is the Desolate Demon Clan. God Blade Supreme reminded. Why? Yi Tian wondered. The Supreme Divine Blade explained. The Wild Demon Clan is the most powerful family in the wild world, and it is a family created by the Wild Demon Supreme. Although this family has great flaws, it is very special, and all of them can grow to be above the great god level. Realm, and has a talent, can mobilize the power of the wasteland, similar to the innate gods mobilizing the power of the wasteland. Even a weak wasteland monster can exert a strong combat power, and it is difficult to kill. But they have a very huge flaw is that the reproduction is slow, and it cannot grow to the realm of the universe god. But with their talents, other races can't beat the wild monster family. If you are a wild demon, you are not an opponent at all. In the outside world, you don't need to be afraid of the Wild Demon Clan, but in the wild world, when you see them, run away, understand? Clear, Yi Tian promised, but he was even more curious about the Wild Demon Clan in his heart. The wild monster family has a unique talent that can mobilize the power of the wild world, but he also has the talent of copying, and can definitely copy the talent of the wild monster. Isn't it also possible to mobilize the power of the wild world? Certainly. He would not refute the Supreme Being. After all, the Supreme God did not understand his situation, and he was kind enough to remind him that if he refuted, wouldn't he not give the Supreme Being a face? Subsequently, Divine Blade Supreme chatted with Yi Tian for a while before leaving. A few days later, the Shinblade battleship was bound for a barren area. In addition to some racial territories in the universe, there are still many barren areas that do not have clear territorial ownership. For these barren areas, the Cosmos Big Clan and even some small clans have little interest. Because these barren areas do not have galaxies or stars, there is only a barren area with no resources, and occupying them is a waste of manpower to guard them. Therefore, none of these areas will be occupied. But this barren area gave birth to a barren world. Many big clans want to occupy this area, but the deserted world is not weak, there are many supremes in it, and a single cosmic clan is not the opponent of the deserted world. And those innate souls in the deserted world can come out to fight, and they can stick to the deserted world, which is very difficult to deal with, unless multiple cosmic clans unite, and they must pay a huge price to destroy the deserted world. But in that case, the price is not worth the gain. Therefore, this area is the wasteland territory by default. The wilderness has arrived. The Divine Blade battleship stopped. Yi Tian and some other galaxy-level and Xinghe-level powerhouses flew out of the Shinblade battleship. This is, quote, Yi Tian stared at a huge sphere in shock. This sphere was very large, exuding a faint light, and the light was filled with the power of the world. The world barrier, this is the barren world. Yi Tian was stunned. He has always thought that the deserted world is located in the depths of space, and that the deserted world cannot be seen with the naked eye in the main space of the universe. But now, he saw the deserted world just as well. It turns out that the wilderness is the main space, not from the depths of space, it should be that the inner space is in the depths of space, and the outside is in the main space, such a world is too rare. Yi Tian muttered. Far away. Boom. Another battleship appeared. Immediately, a group of angels flew out from the battleship. Obviously, this is the battleship of the angel race, and these angels are the galaxy-level and galaxy-level powerhouses of the angel race. From the conversation with the Supreme Being of the Divine Blade, Yi Tian naturally knew the list of the big races in the universe who were going to enter the wasteland this time. In addition to the human race, there are angels, Yashas, giants, bloods, elves and other cosmic clans, but the gods and demons are not among them. It stands to reason that the Protoss and demons are very powerful and should be eligible to enter the desolate realm, but in fact they are not. Because the innate gods hated the gods and the demons very much. In the ancient times, the gods and the demons tried to occupy the desolate world. If they fight outside, the gods and gods of the deserted world are not the opponents of the gods and the demons at all. But inside the gods and gods are very powerful in mobilizing the gods, unless the gods or demons fight with all their strength, they can be destroyed. Wasteland. However, the Protoss and demons are mutually restrained, and they can only send a small part of their forces to attack the deserted world. According to rumors, in the ancient times, there were tens of thousands of innate gods in the deserted world. In the battle with the gods and demons, thousands of innate gods in the deserted world died in battle. After that, with the rise of various races in the universe, the Protoss and demons had no energy to deal with the desolate realm. The desolate realm was attacked by the Protoss and the demons, and the losses were extremely heavy. Naturally, they hated the Protoss and the demons, and they were absolutely not allowed to enter the desolate realm. At the beginning, the major cosmic clans signed an agreement with the innate gods of the wild world, not including the God clan and the demon clan. Therefore, the Protoss and demons did not send anyone this time. A few days later, more than a dozen cosmic clans sent a large number of galaxy-level and galaxy-level over. Let's get started. The supremes of more than a dozen cosmic clans met and said. Just then, Yi Tian felt the power of the Divine Blade Sovereign wrapping him around. Then, with a flash in front of their eyes, their galaxy-level and galaxy-level were forcibly thrown into the wasteland by the Supremes, and turned into streams of light scattered all over the wasteland. Desolate world, the original void. This is a void that only the innate gods of the wild world can enter. At this time, in the void of origin, the consciousness of the congenital gods was communicating. The big cosmic clans outside have sent some little guys to our barren home, probably because they want the resources of our barren world. HMPH, although our barren world resources are rich, they are not unlimited. These guys too greedy. No way, there are too many big cosmic clans in the outside world. We can still compete with a single cosmic big clan, but if these big cosmic clans unite, we are not opponents and can only stick to the barren world. But if we sign an agreement, we can still do it. Go to the outside world, and even train the geniuses of the barren world, and send some geniuses to places of opportunity around the universe. If the barren world is blocked by the cosmic clan, our life will not be easy. It's just an exchange of resources. However, we can't let these little fellows of foreign races have a better time, and ordered to go down, see people of foreign races, kill Wush. Then, one instruction after another was conveyed to the various tribes in the deserted world. Immediately, all races in the deserted world knew that aliens were coming. A turmoil is coming. Chapter 643 Greenskins, Treasure House. Open black lens bracket 1 more close black lens bracket. Desolate world, on a small desolate mountain. Yi Tian suddenly appeared here. For the first time, Yi Tian hid his breath and immediately observed the surrounding situation. There are no powerful creatures, they are all weak creatures. Yi Tian was relieved. The space in the barren world is very stable, even more stable than the void outside, and even the original chaotic small world is not as stable as here, no wonder so many supreme beings were born. Yi Tian secretly said. Moreover, the vitality of the barren world is also extremely rich and very pure. If you cultivate here, it will be many times faster than the outside world. Let's take a look at what races are nearby. According to the Supreme God Blade, most of the Zichen trees are controlled by the races of the wild world, and the unknown Zichen trees are relatively rare. Therefore, the most direct way is to plunder the Zichen of a race. Wood, and it's better to find weak races to start. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. Immediately, he flew in one direction, looking for traces of the race. Soon, Yi Tian discovered an emperor-level creature. This creature was about 3 meters high, covered in green, and was similar to the human race in other respects. Copy talent, check it out. Swish, the talent of this creature appeared in Yi Tian's eyes. Greenskins, Aguna, cultivation talent, Shiri level. Defensive talent, top, 027 speed talent, medium. Strength talent, top, photosynthetic talent, top, claw talent, top. From the perspective of talent, this is just an extremely ordinary emperor level, and the talent is also very ordinary. The only good thing is that the cultivation talent is okay, and he can cultivate to the god level. Wow, Yi Tian appeared in front of the green-skinned Aguna, and before she could react, she immediately cast a hypnotizing talent on her. How powerful is Yi Tian's immortal soul? Aguna's soul is too weak in his eyes, and instantly hypnotized the other party and controlled the other party's soul. Immediately, he began to ask Aguna various questions. Soon, Yi Tian learned some important information from Aguna. Aguna is an ordinary clan of the Greenskin clan, and the Greenskin clan is not strong in the barren world, and the strongest are only at the galaxy level. As for the galaxy level, there are very few. The great god level is in the green among the leather clan. It is enough to be called a high level. Is there any purple wood in the Greenskin tribe? Yi Tian asked. What is Zichen wood? Aguna asked curiously. CJFI. Yi Tian was stunned. Obviously, not everyone knows Zichen wood in the barren world. Many weak creatures have obviously never heard of Zichen wood, and only some strong people should know about Zichen wood. And Aguna is only at the emperor level, and has not been able to touch treasures like Zichen wood. Take me to the greenskins. Yi Tian ordered. Yes. Aguna replied. In the hypnotic state, he couldn't resist Yi Tian at all, and took Yi Tian to the Greenskin tribe. The Greenskin tribe he belongs to is not the headquarters of the Greenskin tribe, but a tribe of the Greenskin tribe, and the leader of the tribe is only a true god. Soon, Yi Tian came to the Greenskin tribe, and immediately used the hypnotic talent to control the true god of the Greenskin tribe. Then, he learned some information from the true god. The Greenskin tribe did have a Zichen tree a long time ago, but that was a long time ago, and there was only one Zichen tree, but now the Greenskin tribe does not have a Zichen tree. The heart of the Zichen tree is Zichenwood, but as long as the Zichenwood is removed in a certain way, the Zichenshu will not die, but it will take a long time to recover and continue to give birth to Zichenwood. As long as the green-skinned people take good care of this Zichen tree, they will have a steady stream of Zichen wood. It is a pity that long ago, the greenskin tree was taken away by another race. Red Forest, Yi Tian muttered. The Red Forest clan stole the Zichen tree from the Greenskin clan, but the Red Forest clan did not dare to destroy the Greenskin clan, because the Greenskin clan was a race created by an innate god of dominance. The Red Forest clan can snatch the Zichen tree, but if they destroy the Greenskin clan, they will undoubtedly offend the master. And in the deserted world, there is an unwritten rule, that is, there can be wars between races, resources can be robbed, intrigue can be intrigued, anything can be done, but the race cannot be exterminated. Do the Greenskins have purple wood? Yi Tian asked again. The true gods of the Greenskins said, maybe there is, I can't be sure. Seeing that he couldn't ask anything more, Yi Tian left the tribe and went to the Greenskin department. He guessed that the Greenskin clan should have remnants of purple woods. After all, the Greenskins have existed for many years, and even if there is only one purple woods, they have gradually accumulated some purple woods. And the Greenskin tribe is not strong, and the speed of consuming purple wood is definitely not fast. Therefore, the Greenskin tribe must have remnants of purple wood. If it were some powerful races, Yi Tian would definitely not dare to provoke them, but the greenskin race was too weak, only the galaxy level was in charge, not even a cosmic god. So, he can completely break into the greenskin headquarters and snatch the remaining Zichen wood. Greenskin headquarters. The leader of the greenskin tribe, Rex Bone, was cultivating when a person suddenly appeared in front of him. This person is Yi Tian. Who, the leader of the greenskin tribe, sensed the existence of Yi Tian and was about to take action. Boom! The terrifying pressure hit, so that the leader of the greenskin tribe could not compete at all, and it was even difficult to even move. He is too weak, he is only a very ordinary galaxy rank, in Yi Tian's eyes he is just an ant. Who are you? Quote, Otterbone looked at Yi Tian in horror and said. Hand over Zichen wood, I cannot kill you. Yi Tian said. Our greenskin tribe doesn't have Zichen wood, and our Zichen tree has long been snatched by the Hongsan tribe. This is a well-known thing. You can go to the Hongsan tribe, they have 3 Zichen trees. Rex said. Don't talk nonsense, if you don't have Zichen wood, then go to die. Yi Tian was about to attack when Rex Bone hurriedly said, Yes, I have Zichen wood, don't kill me. 1. Under death threats, Otterbone confessed. Then, Rex Bone took Yi Tian to the treasury of the greenskin tribe, because Zichen Mu was hidden in the treasury. Among the greenskins, only the patriarch can enter the treasure house. Soon, Yi Tian entered the treasury of the greenskin tribe. But the moment he entered the treasure trove, Otterbone suddenly burst out laughing. Haha, you dare to enter the treasury of our greenskins. Don't you know that our treasury of greenskins has a formation arranged by the ancestors, you are dead. Otterbone sneered. Chapter 644 Crazy Plundering of Zichen Wood. Open black lens bracket. Second update. Close black lens bracket. Swish. The Otterbone was moved to the other side by the formation, so that it would not be attacked by Yi Tian. At the same time, the formation of the treasure house was fully activated. Go to hell. Countless blades of light shot from all directions, all over the void. This is not an ordinary formation, but is arranged by a master, and there is no shortage of energy here, enough to kill the galaxy and even threaten the life of the universe god. From Rex Bone's point of view, Yi Tian is only a galaxy level, although he is a monster, but according to his calculations, no matter how evil the galaxy level is, it is difficult to compare with the universe god. Therefore, the formation here is enough to kill Yi Tian. Bang bang bang. Countless light blades bombarded Yi Tian's body, but even Yi Tian's defense could not be broken. A corner of the treasure house. Otterbone was stunned. How come? He couldn't believe that Yi Tian's defense was so terrifying, even the attack of the formation here could not break his defense. Just relying on this method of breaking the formation, you also want to kill me? Yi Tian said coldly. I really wouldn't kill you, I took the purple wood and left, after all, you are just an ant in my eyes, I don't need to kill you. But you're killing yourself now, so, don't blame me. Escape. Otterbone tries to escape, but at this time, Yi Tian's hand tore the space and grabbed the Otterbone in front of him. Next moment, a spear of the gods of hell pierced the Otterbone directly, annihilating his body. After killing the Otterbone, Yi Tian searched the treasure house. Although the greenskins are weak, they are a race after all, and the wild world is rich in resources, so there are still many treasures in the greenskin treasury. And Yi Tian quickly found the purple wood, and to his surprise, he found a total of 3 purple wood and a small amount of purple wood fragments. The greenskins are really saving money. In the past, when there was only 1 Zichen tree, and the Zichen tree was taken away, there are still 3 Zichen trees left. Unfortunately, all of them are now cheaper for me. Yi Tian said with a smile. He put away all the purple woods of the greenskin clan, and some of the valuable treasures in the treasury, he also took all, leaving only a small part of the treasures. After all, you can't be too extreme in life, so let's leave some for the greenskins. Afterwards, Yi Tian left the greenskin clan silently. When the greenskins find out that their patriarch died in the treasure house, it may be a few days later, or even longer. Afterwards, Yi Tian went to the Hongsan clan. The Red Forest clan is stronger than the Greenskin clan, but there is no cosmic god, but there are more galaxy-level powerhouses, and there is a galaxy-level peak, whose strength is very powerful, second only to the cosmic god's combat power. After Yi Tian sneaked into the Red Forest clan, he subdued the Red Forest clan's patriarch with the fastest speed, and then obtained the Red Forest clan's Zichen wood. He obtained a total of 6 Zichen trees and some fragments from the Hongsan tribe. In the blink of an eye, 10 days have passed. In these 10 days, Yi Tian went to several races, plundered a lot of purple wood from these races, and gained a lot. but because of Yi Tian's crazy move, it caused a great shock in an area. In the past, it was not that no one had the idea of hitting Zichenmu, but they were more restrained, because behind each race there was an innate deity, and unless the innate deity died, this race would be covered by someone. Everyone will give face to the innate gods and dare not do things absolutely. But now, some races have not only been robbed of Zichen wood, but even their races have been killed. It's not just one race, but multiple races. As a result, some innate gods in this area began to contact the original void. More than a dozen innate gods are communicating. Everyone, I heard that these races under our command have all had an accident. Zichenmu was taken away, and the patriarch of the Greenskin clan I created was killed. Although the Greenskin clan was only a failed race I created, after all, I created it. Race, that would be too much. For flowers, yeah, something happened to the Red Forest clan I created, it should be done by an alien. Purple wood is not very useful to us, but it is very important to the outside world. It seems that they have discovered the usefulness of purple wood. This time, a large number of galaxy grades are dispatched to capture the purple wood. Then what should I do now? The person who shoots against those races should be a strong person in the galaxy level, and the general galaxy level is not his opponent. I suggest to find an incomparably powerful galaxy level or a cosmic god. Will that alien was killed. 0. Who are you looking for? We don't have such powerful subordinates. Isn't there some loose cultivators in the deserted world? Look for them. The Ghost Hand Bone Master is good. Although he is at the pinnacle of the galaxy, he has a record of defeating the cosmic god, although he defeated a very weak cosmic god. It can be regarded as possessing the power of a cosmic god. Well, then invite him, just pay a little price. After more than a dozen innate gods discussed it, they went to contact the Ghost Hand Bone Master. The other side, Yi Tian continued to search for new races and plundered Zichen wood. This day, Yi Tian came to a new race, the Giant Elephant race. The strength of the Giant Elephant clan is not weak, even stronger than the Red Forest clan, but there is still no cosmic god. Among them, the disease with Shen is called the Upper Clan, and if there is no cosmic god in charge, it is called the First Disease. This is what Yi Tian inquired about after entering the barren world. The Upper Clan all lived in the central area of the deserted world. This was outside the central area of the deserted world, where the Lower Clan lived. The strength of the Giant Elephant clan is very strong among the Lower Clan, but it is still the Lower Clan. The Giant Elephant clan owns 7 Zichen trees. I hope you won't let me down. Yi Tian murmured. Chapter 645 The Desolate Demon appears. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. The headquarters of the Giant Elephant clan is the Giant Elephant City. The environment of the barren world is similar to the wild, but some races still like to build cities, which is undoubtedly learned from the outside world. The Giant Elephant City is very majestic, and the materials used are all the unique stones of the wilderness. The entire city is even more majestic than some of the gods in the outside world. Yi Tian sneaked into the Giant Elephant City, ready to directly capture the patriarch of the Giant Elephant clan. However, just when Yi Tian came to the residence of the Colossus Patriarch, a mutation occurred. Are you an alien? A voice entered Yi Tian's ears. Swish! A burly man appeared in front of Yi Tian. From the appearance, this big man is similar to human beings, but his hands are very dark and full of metallic feeling. The pinnacle of the galaxy. Yi Tian focused his attention on the big man, and immediately used the copy talent to check the opponent's talent. At this time, Yi Tian discovered that the 0.27 inches Han was not a colossus, but a clan called the Mountain Ghost Clan. Who are you? Yi Tian asked. The Mountain Ghost Clan big man said. I am a loose cultivator in the barren world, you can call me Ghost Hand Bone Master. I am here to catch you. You are not small, you dare to rob the Zichen wood of many lower clans. You have offended many innate gods now, and I was hired by one of them, just to arrest you. I see. Yi Tian suddenly realized. His actions during this period finally caught the attention of the innate gods, and although the innate gods could not do anything, they could send others. And the congenital gods have a certain control over the barren world, it is not difficult to find Yi Tian. The Ghost Hand Bone Master must have come here to wait under the guidance of the innate gods. There is even a high possibility that one or more innate gods are watching here. Alien, are you going to capture it yourself, or let me do it? The Ghost Hand Bone Master threatened. You are not qualified. Yi Tian said coldly. Court death. The Ghost Hand Bone Master was furious, and his hands turned into black claws, grabbing hard. From these claws, Yi Tian felt the breath of the source artifact. Obviously, the Ghost Hand Bone Master integrated a pair of Origin Divine Artifact claws into his own hands, and created a unique claw art. If other galaxies are absolutely unable to compete with this move, but for Yi Tian, the strength of the Ghost Hand Bone Master is comparable to that of the Sword Feather God Master, or it will be slightly stronger but definitely not much stronger. Yi Tian could have instantly killed the opponent with one move, but when he thought of the innate spirits watching secretly, he prepared to keep a low profile and not reveal his true strength. Once his true strength is exposed, he may face real danger next time. There must be many powerful universe gods in the deserted world, and that is not something he can bear. If he reveals his true strength, wouldn't he provoke those terrifying cosmic gods? Boom! Yi Tian fought against the Ghost Hand Bone Master. He retained most of his strength, and only showed a small part, fighting against the Ghost Hand Bone Master with a strength that was no weaker than the Ghost Hand Bone Master. The battle between the two sides almost destroyed the giant elephant city, but under the guidance of the Ghost Hand Bone Master, the two entered the sky above the giant elephant city to fight, avoiding the destruction of the giant elephant city. The Ghost Hand Bone Master did not dare to destroy the giant elephant city, otherwise the creator of the giant elephant clan would not spare him lightly. He is only a loose cultivator, his former ethnic group and the innate gods he relied on have all fallen and died. Without a background, he would not dare to provoke an innate god. Time passed little by little. Yi Tian deliberately relied on his super recovery ability and strong defensive power to consume the power of the Ghost Hand Bone Master a little bit, as well as continuously injuring the Ghost Hand Bone Master, making the Ghost Hand Bone Master's state continue to decline and gradually become weak. Stand up. Half a day passed. Yi Tian finally seized an opportunity and severely injured the Ghost Hand Bone Master with one knife. Immediately, the Ghost Hand Bone Master cast a secret technique and turned into a black shadow and quickly escaped. Yi Tian did not pursue, but flew into the giant elephant city, kidnapped the patriarch of the giant elephant clan, and took away the Zichen wood of the giant elephant clan. After that, Yi Tian left quickly. Desolate world, somewhere deep in the mountains. Yi Tian opened up a temporary cave house and hid it here. Those innate gods who spy on me should think that my strength is similar to that of the Ghost Hand Bone Master. Even if they send a subordinate to attack me next time, they will at most send a subordinate who can kill the Ghost Hand Bone Master. The incomparably powerful god of the universe. 1. Yi Tian guessed. The other side. More than a dozen innate gods gathered to chat again, and the topic was Yi Tian. Everyone, we use the power of the wild world to spy on the fight between the alien race and the Ghost Hand Bone Master. The opponent's strength is very powerful, and the galaxy level alone is comparable to the Ghost Hand Bone Master's combat power, and it relies on super strong resilience and defense have driven away the master of the Ghost Hand Bone. Such a galaxy class is placed in the outside world, and it is definitely the son of the universe that is incomparably evil. It can be called the hope of this generation of alien races in the universe. If such a galaxy class is killed, those alien races must be sure it will be very distressing. Yes, the alien must be killed, but the strength of the Ghost Hand Bone Master is simply not enough. Who should I look for? Look for those superiors. The upper clan was created by those powerful innate gods, it was more perfect, and had the potential to become the god of the universe, which was comparable to the non-lower clan. The reason why it is difficult for the creatures of the lower clan to give birth to the powerhouses of the universe god level is because they are not perfect, and their potential and talents are not enough. If you find the Shang clan, the price is not small. Moreover, we have to find a cosmic god to be insured. For those really powerful cosmic gods, the price of letting them take action must be very high, and letting weak cosmic gods take action is not too much. Insurance. How about looking for a wild monster? An innate deity reminded. The wild monster, the most perfect race in the wild world, the wild monster can mobilize the power of the wild world, and it can also fight by leaps and bounds. We only need to find a wild monster at the level of a cosmic god, even if it is not a very powerful cosmic god, but relying on the power of the wild world is enough to kill the alien race. Moreover, the wild monster is very warlike. If we know that such a galaxy-level alien is coming, maybe we don't need to pay much. Another innate god. They discussed it for a while, and immediately decided to invite a cosmic god-level wild monster. That's it. A few days have passed, and Yi Tian is still looking for Zichen wood. This day, Yi Tian flew to a mountain range and suddenly felt a strange 5.8 breath. In the dark, a pressure hit. Coming, Yi Tian showed a slightly solemn look. It is clear, an enemy has arrived, and it is very powerful. Boom, a force of heaven and earth rolled over, and the surrounding space was frozen. This is not a space force, but a mysterious force that affects the space and freezes the space. Open. Yi Tian mobilized his spatial talent to fight against this force, breaking the shackles. Amazing, just a galaxy-level cultivation base, actually broke free from my suppression. Those innate gods did not lie, your strength is really strong. The voice just fell. A young man walked out of the void and looked at Yi Tian with a smile. Yi Tian's eyes also looked at the past, revealing a slightly surprised look. Wild monster, Yi Tian said lightly. Chapter 646 The Wild Monster That Is About to Fall. One more. Yi Tian learned from the investigation of the duplication talent that the young man in front of him was a desolate demon. Wild monster. Martial arts. Cultivation talent. U level. Defensive talent. God level. Speed talent. God level. Strength talent. God level. Marksmanship talent. No superior. Golden shield talent. God level. Desolate talent. God level. From the perspective of talent, martial arts is very good, but as for the combat strength, it is impossible to judge from the talent. After all, the cultivation of martial arts is already the realm of the universe god. The powerhouse of this level does not rely on talent, but on the degree of utilization of talent, magical powers, secret techniques, and the use of the great Tao. These are the standards that truly determine combat power. But the wild monsters are very special. They can mobilize the power of the wild world, similar to the ability of the innate gods in the wild world. Therefore, even if this desolate monster's cultivation is only the appearance of the third-order cosmic god and not the peak of the cosmic god, its combat power is still terrifying. The wild pattern talent of the wild monster should be the talent that can communicate with the origin of the wild world and mobilize the power of the wild world. If I copy it, it should also be able to mobilize the power of the wild world. 29 inches copy the wild grain talent. Yi Tian copied this talent instantly. In fact, the barren pattern talent is very useful in the barren world, but once you leave the barren world, the barren pattern talent is useless. Therefore, Yi Tian is actually not very interested in the talent of the wild pattern. However, in order to increase his self-protection ability in the barren world, he naturally wanted to copy it. Wu Zhan looked at Yi Tian, holding a silver spear, and said, "People of the alien race, although I bullied you with the realm of the universe god and some bullied the small, but all races and alien races in the wild world are mortal enemies, so they must be killed. You shouldn't come to the wasteland, you brought it on yourself." After that, the martial arts shot. Boom. The power of the wild world is blessed on the gun of the martial arts, plus he has displayed a superior gun skill, as well as the power of the small universe, making this gun extremely terrifying. It can be said that even an ordinary cosmic god standing in front of the martial arts, he can kill the opponent in one move. In the face of martial arts, Yi Tian no longer hides his strength. Under the blessing of the power of the barren world, the cultivation base of martial arts cannot be measured according to the third rank of the universe god, and it is absolutely comparable to the 7th or 8th rank of the universe god. In addition, the combat power of the martial arts itself is not weak, so the superimposed combat power is terrifying. If Yi Tian underestimated martial arts, he would definitely be at a disadvantage. Therefore, he simply stopped hiding his strength. Hunyuan scale armor, god-level defensive talent. Yi Tian first used all kinds of defense methods to ensure that his defense was at a very high level. Then, Yi Tian exerted all his strength to use the unique technique of the Tianyu saber. Cut. Yi Tian greeted the shot of the martial arts with a knife. Boom. The void burst, and the shock wave swept all around, causing this mountain range to explode into nothingness in an instant. Impossible. Under the strong impact of Wu Zhan, his body flew out, and it was only by the power of the wild world that he stabilized his body. Minor injury. I was actually injured by a galaxy class. Wu Zhan was stunned. He is a wild monster, and he is also a wild monster of the universe god level. He can mobilize the power of the wild world, but now he was injured by a galaxy level. What kind of concept is this? How can such a monstrous genius be born in the universe? This is not in line with common sense, it simply breaks the limit of the rules of the universe. Wu Zhan thought incredulously. I must kill you, Wu Zhan shouted. He stimulated all the power, tried his best to mobilize the power of the barren world, and launched an attack on Yi Tian again. At this time, Yi Tian used the 5 elements divine wheel and the power of time and space to suppress this void, and then used the great magical power of the spear of Hell God. Although Wu Zhan blocked the spear of Hell God's sky, he was still injured by the spear of Hell God's sky. Black Lotus Realm. The chaotic true Black Lotus world was cast out by Yi Tian, and instantly wrapped the martial arts. At this moment, Wu Zhan felt the threat of his life, and he hurriedly launched various defensive secret techniques, coupled with the blessing of the power of the wilderness. Boom! The Black Lotus realm was annihilated, but Wu Zhan still rushed out. However, Wu Zhan was very embarrassed at this time. One arm was annihilated, and the original artifact armor on his body was also shattered. Escape. Wu Zhanji's opponent has no desire to fight at all. It is a pity that he has no hope of escaping from a space-time gifted person at all. Blade of Time and Space, go! Call out. The Blade of Time and Space ignores time and space and penetrates the body of martial arts. In an instant, the vitality of Wu Zhan was wiped out, and his state dropped again. Yi Tian slashed with a knife and bombarded Wu Zhan's body. After Wu Zhan was hit, his body was almost split in half, but he still didn't die. Life force is so stubborn. Yi Tian sighed secretly. He is also very clear that the reason why martial arts is so difficult to kill is because of the protection of the barren world. If there is no protection from the barren world, martial arts would have died long ago. The wild monster is definitely far inferior to the innate gods in mobilizing the power of the wild world. It can be seen that after the innate gods mobilize the power of the wild world, the increase in combat power is even more terrifying. It is no wonder that those supreme beings are very afraid of the supreme beings in the desert world, and they dare not enter the desert world at all. Yi Tian thought to himself. Deep in the void, the consciousness of a group of innate gods is watching this battle. At this moment, these innate gods are also completely dumbfounded. Although Wu Zhan is not a very powerful cosmic god among the wild demons, he is also a cosmic god. The barren world is not very big, and it is too far from the territory of the outside world, so there are not many cosmic gods in the barren world, and there are only dozens of cosmic gods among the desolate monsters. You can't die in martial arts. An innate god spoke up. The wild monster killed a cosmic god. This is a big event. If that person knows, he will definitely be angry. But we innate gods can't intervene, otherwise the power of the agreement will hit us hard, and even ask for our fate. Another innate god said. We can't take action, we can only take action from those non-innate gods. Quickly see if there is a strong person nearby, and quickly let him take action to rescue the martial arts. An innate god said. Quickly began to look for the nearby cosmic god powerhouse. But the congenital gods are not omnipotent, it takes a little time for them to find the nearby cosmic god powerhouse, and there is no guarantee that they can find a suitable powerhouse. There is an upper clan of the 7th rank of the universe god, but his strength is not as good as that of the wild demon martial arts. Maybe you can delay the time, not the most suitable candidate. Long Tang, who is at the peak level of the cosmic god, is also relatively close to the battlefield, but it will probably take a few minutes to get there, while the upper clan of the 7th level cosmic god only needs about 30 seconds to get there. What should I do now? Let the 7th rank superior clan of the universe god go over immediately to delay the time, and then let Long Tang rush over to support. Even sacrificing that superior clan is better than sacrificing the wild monster. Okay, let's do it. The innate gods immediately mobilized and vowed to keep the martial arts. Chapter 647 Death in Martial Arts, the congenital gods are shocked. Open black lens bracket second update close black lens bracket. Who will save me? Wu Zhan was extremely frightened. In order to save his own life, he had used a lot of life-saving things and overloaded the power of the barren world to protect himself. But even so, he felt that he couldn't resist for a long time. Time passed by every second, and Wu Zhan always felt that he would be killed in the next second. Just as he was about to die, a voice came. Aliens, dare to slaughter the living beings in the wilderness, courting death. Hearing this voice, Wu Zhan had a glimmer of hope in his heart. Someone came to my rescue. Wu Zhan thought. He sensed for a moment, saw a universe god, and his mood instantly cooled. He knew this cosmic god, but he was a cosmic god of the upper race, and his strength was much weaker than him. How could he be able to save him? This cosmic god is also going to die. It's over. Wu Zhan said in despair. And the cosmic god of the upper race was also dumbfounded. Those innate gods told him that there was an alien who was slaughtering creatures in the barren world, and asked him to kill this alien. He came happily, but he never expected to see this scene. Desolate demon Wu Zhan, his strength is stronger than mine, and he is about to fall into the hands of aliens. Where am I an opponent? Wu Zhan was stunned. He knows that he has been deceived by those innate gods, and this alien race is not something he can provoke. But he has to do it. Desolate demons cannot die in martial arts. If they escape now, those congenital gods will never let them go, and even their relatives are in danger. If you save the wild demon martial arts, that's a big credit. Moreover, those congenital gods also said, and other universe gods also rushed over, it is not that he has no hope of living. Let go of the martial arts universe god. The Shang clan universe god made a move, trying to stop Yi Tian from attacking and killing the martial arts by attacking Yi Tian. But at this moment, Yi Tian used the power of space to block the attack of the cosmic god of the Shang clan, and immediately grabbed the martial arts with one hand. Chaos Void Palm. This move is a chaotic true skill created by Yi Tian not long ago, and it can suppress the enemy in the virtual world that is captured in the palm of his hand. The formidable power of the Chaos Zumi palm is not known to be many times stronger than that of the Shuman palm. If the martial arts in the heyday were able to block the Chaos Zumi palm, but now the seriously injured and dying martial arts cannot be resisted. Call out. Wu Zan was captured by Yi Tian and suppressed in the palm of his hand. An ordinary god of the universe dares to stop me, courting death. Yi Tian teleported over, holding the spear of hell gods and sky, and pierced with a ruthless spear. The universe god of the upper race tried to avoid it, but was still influenced by the time talent and couldn't avoid it at all. Puff. The cosmic god of the upper race was seriously injured. Not good. The celestial universe god was terrified. He never imagined that Yi Tian's strength was so terrifying. He didn't even have the ability to block a move. The difference between his strength and Yi Tian's strength was too great. After chasing and fleeing, within half a minute, the upper race universe god was completely killed by Yi Tian in this void. And Wu Zan was also killed by Yi Tian in the palm of his hand, and he completely fell and died. At the moment when Wu Zan fell, the voices and roars of the universe gods came from the void. Alien, if you dare to kill a wild monster, you are dead. The wild monsters are the largest clan in the wild world. They are few in number, and all of them have high potential. They are the race created by the wild venerable, and they are the most proud children of the wild venerable. Boundary. Alien, you are dead. Not only are you going to die, but other alien races in the wilderness are also going to die. Yi Tian looked up and sneered, then I'll wait. The threat of the congenital gods is undoubtedly very ridiculous. Do you really think it is so easy to kill him? Moreover, it is not so simple to want to kill all the powerhouses of all external races. This time, there are quite a few galaxy grades, and they are located in various places. There are also many secret treasures on their bodies, and their combat power is not weak. The various clans in the deserted world are not united, and those lower clans and even some of the upper clans are afraid of death, and it is impossible to kill a clan at all costs. If you really do it, it will definitely be the wasteland that suffers heavy losses. Compared with the various races in the universe, it doesn't matter at all to lose some insignificant galaxy level, but the waste world can't afford to lose it. At this time, the threat of the innate gods is more like a performance of gaffe and incompetence. Shish. Yi Tian flew away quickly and left this area. Immediately, Yi Tian sneaked into a city and left the city disguised as a desolate creature, trying to avoid the detection of the innate gods through various escape techniques. Of course, he also knows that he can't really avoid the detection of the innate gods, but he only needs to avoid it for a while. Desolate world, somewhere deep in the mountains. Yi Tianshu. Integrating the talent of the barren pattern. Once the talent of the barren pattern is fused, the strength of the barren world can be increased, and the life-saving ability will be greatly increased in the time of J. Fusion. Yi Tian started to merge with a single thought. Time passed quickly for half an hour. Yi Tian successfully integrated the talent of the wild pattern. Then, Yi Tian really understood the usefulness of the wild pattern talent. The wild pattern talent is originally to use this talent to lead a trace of the origin of the wild world, so as to mobilize the power of the wild world, and it can increase the combat power by a maximum of 10 times. Yi Tian was overjoyed. His strength is already very strong. If he were to increase his combat power tenfold, he would definitely be comparable to the best among the universe gods. No wonder God Blade Supreme made me be careful about the wild monsters in the wild world. Fortunately, the wild monsters I encountered this time are not strong. Otherwise, if I encounter a powerful universe god wild monster, even if I have the Death Flower Emperor, my life-saving ability is abnormal, but if the other party traps me, I can't escape. Yi Tian thought to himself. Wild pattern talent, open. Yi Tian instantly activated the talent of the desolate pattern, and brought in a trace of the origin of the desolate world. In an instant, Yi Tian felt that the world was different, as if everything was in his hands. He could mobilize the power of the barren world to bless himself at any time, and even attack the enemy and protect himself. Just when Yi Tian was addicted to the wild pattern talent, he suddenly felt an even more powerful force from the wild world swept across. It's those innate gods. Yi Tian sensed. I saw that these desolate world forces quickly locked him. If Yi Tian hadn't integrated the talent of the desolate world, Yi Tian would not be able to sense the power of the desolate world, and he would have no way of knowing that he was locked by these innate gods. But now, with the talent of the wild pattern, he can hide at any time to avoid being locked by the innate gods of the wild world. It's time to leave, this place has been discovered. Yi Tian escaped again. Not long after, powerful desolate monsters descended here, but they did not find Yi Tian. In the next few days, these innate gods tried to find Yi Tian, but every time they failed. This day, the congenital gods began to discuss heatedly. What's the matter, why can't I find that alien every time? It's strange, we used the power of the barren world to search for the alien, and we should confirm it. Why did the other party leave smoothly every time, as if we knew we were going to send someone there? Have you found that the alien has a faint aura of the origin of the wilderness? Hey, you found it too, I thought it was an illusion. At this discussion, the innate gods were stunned. Soon, they confirmed that Yi Tian had the aura of the origin of the desolate world, and this discovery shocked them all. In the end, they guessed that Yi Tian might have a special secret treasure that came from the barren world, but was captured by outsiders. And this secret treasure can sense their exploration, so it can easily escape every time. There is another possibility, that is, there is a desolate demon hiding on Yi Tian's body, helping Yi Tian to escape. As for Yi Tian's talent in the wild pattern, they can't imagine it. After all, the talent in the wild pattern is only possessed by the wild monsters, and other alien races and even those in the wild world can't have it. They couldn't catch Yi Tian, and after a long time, these innate gods gave up, and they could only tell all ethnic groups to strengthen their vigilance. Chapter 648 Desolate Tower. One more. Dodging the innate gods' investigation time and time again, Yi Tian now has no worries. Moreover, he used the barren pattern talent many times, and he became more and more comfortable with the barren pattern talent, and he could even temporarily block the lock of the innate gods' barren world power. Therefore, unless the innate gods spend a huge price to find him, it is really not easy to find him in the general way. After all, Yi Tian has too many talents, disguising talents and various soul secret techniques to change the soul breath, it is too difficult to lock his position. This day, Yi Tian is going to go to the center of the desolate world, he is not going there to capture the purple wood. There is the territory of the wild monster, if you go there to capture Zichen wood, it is no different than courting death. Yi Tian went there because of a chance. Not long ago, he sneaked into an upper clan in the barren world, and learned a secret of the barren world from the universe god of the upper family, and he was very interested in this secret. Of course, the more important reason is that it is difficult for him to obtain Zichen wood again. Perhaps it was because he had captured too much Zichenmu, and the innate gods couldn't catch him, so they each set up terrifying formations in the ethnic groups they created, and these formations could protect the place where Zichenmu was located. A place where he couldn't get in. Therefore, even if he broke into a certain desolate race now, he would not be able to snatch the Zichen wood. Now that he wants to get 027 Zichen wood, he can only go to the wild to find unknown Zichen wood, but it is too difficult to find. Thinking about it carefully, he has now got so much purple wood, and there is no shortage of purple wood, so there is no need to grab the purple wood. In comparison, he still wants to get other opportunities. But now, he knew the opportunity. According to the cosmic god, there is a barren tower in the center of the barren world. The barren pagoda is very mysterious and existed before the birth of the innate gods in the barren world. The reason why so many supreme beings are born in the barren world is closely related to the barren pagoda. Big. Yi Tian muttered. Before, he was very puzzled why so many supreme and masters were born in such a small place in the deserted world. There are also many innate gods in the outside world. The total number is far more than that of the wild world. But in the outside world, it is very difficult for an innate god to become a supreme god. Even if the talent can be achieved, most of them can only be achieved. At the heavenly venerate level, if you want to become the supreme, you must maintain the combat power of your highness at the peak of the great god level. And this standard is too high, an era often can only give birth to a little supreme, and a cosmic clan in an era may not be able to give birth to a supreme. For example, the human race, Yi Tian was in this era, except for him, the others were relatively ordinary, and there was no way to give birth to the supreme level highness, and the gods only gave birth to 1 or 2 supreme level highnesses, and the demon race was estimated to be similar. But the wild world is too abnormal, almost every innate god can grow to the realm of domination, and once it becomes the realm of the gods, it will become the supreme, which is very terrifying. There are a lot of resources in the wild world, but it is not a matter of resources to become the supreme. If there are more resources, you can become the supreme, but the gods and demons are the supremes. Inheritance, talent, resources, chance and luck are all indispensable. But it is obvious that the barren world undoubtedly does not have these conditions. Moreover, it is said that the innate gods of the deserted world hardly leave the deserted world, and they have been living in such a small place, why can they break through to become supreme? Now Yi Tian has a guess, that is the barren tower. The barren pagoda is an extremely important place in the barren world, but unfortunately even the upper clan is not qualified to enter the barren pagoda, nor even have access to it. Apart from the innate gods, only barren monsters can enter the barren pagoda. This is the message Yi Tian got. As for why only the wild monsters were allowed to enter the deserted pagoda, but not other upper clans, the universe god was not clear, and he was also jealous of the deserted monster family. But this is the rule made by the innate gods. If there are other superiors approaching the barren tower without authorization, there will only be a death sentence. There was once an extremely powerful universe god who broke into the barren tower area and was killed on the spot by an innate god. Yi Tian guessed that entering the desolate pagoda requires conditions, otherwise the innate gods of the desolate world would not be as selfish as CJFI and only let the desolate monsters enter. After all, every desolate race was created by innate gods, how could those innate gods not care about their own race? Unless the upper or lower clan can't enter the deserted tower at all, or it is useless to enter, and the deserted monster can enter the deserted tower, it is the conditions for the deserted monster to meet the entry. Yi Tian thought, there is only one difference between the wild monsters and other superior races, and that is the wild pattern talent. The desolate monster can mobilize the power of the desolate world. If this is the reason, then Yi Tian can also enter the desolate tower, because he also has the talent of desolate patterns, and can also mobilize the power of the desolate world. The barren tower is so important. If I break in without authorization, the innate gods may not dare to take action against me due to the agreement with the outside world, but the terrifying cosmic gods of the wild demon clan will definitely take action against me. Yi Tian thought. Therefore, he thought of a way, that is, to disguise as a desolate demon clan and enter the desolate tower. Certainly, Yi Tian disguised as a wild demon casually and would definitely be discovered. There are not many wild monsters, and it is easy to identify them. If a strange wild monster appears suddenly, it will definitely be listed as the object of attention. No matter how strong Yi Tian's ability to disguise is, he will still be discovered. Therefore, he must ban a certain galaxy-level wild monster, and by the way, learn more about the situation from the galaxy-level wild monster, so as to avoid some mistakes and so on. In the middle of the deserted world, on the land of the wild monster. Yi Tian came here in disguise, and turned on the talent of the wild pattern all the time, so as not to be discovered by the congenital gods. It seems that the congenital gods no longer pay attention to him, so he is now very safe. Time passed by, Yi Tian has been carefully looking for the trace of the desolate demon. And his goal is only the galaxy-level wild monsters. Once he senses the breath of other powerful wild monsters, he will immediately stay away. In such a situation, it is not easy to find a suitable target. Wait, Yi Tian has to wait slowly, absolutely can't be impatient. At this time, some of the other powerhouses from the outside world in the barren world snatched the Zichen wood, and left the barren world smoothly, daring not to stay in the barren world. Some were killed by the barren world powerhouses and stayed forever. Deserted world. Proportionally speaking, most of the powerhouses of various races in the outside world died in the barren world, as did most of the galaxy-level and galaxy-level human races. No way, once the innate gods discovered the traces of these outside powerhouses, it was easy to send the universe gods to slaughter these galaxy grades. These galaxy grades and galaxy grades do not have the strength of Yi Tian, so they naturally cannot survive. However, the number of galaxies that came in this time is many, and a small number of people have obtained Zichen wood. In the blink of an eye, several months have passed. This day, Yi Tian finally found a suitable target. Chapter 649 Disguise, Enter the Barren Tower. Open black lens bracket second update close black lens bracket. Yi Tian, who was hiding in the dark, sensed a galaxy-level desolate monster flying towards his current position. And when Yi Tian mobilized the power of the desolate world to sense the other party, the galaxy-level desolate monster also sensed Yi Tian and thought that Yi Tian was a member of the same clan. Who's in front? The galaxy-level wild monster shouted. But when he flew a little closer, a giant hand instantly captured the galaxy-level desolate monster, and then Yi Tian used his powerful immortal soul to hypnotize the others. In an instant, this galaxy-level desolate demon was hypnotized and controlled by Yi Tian, making him lose even the slightest chance to ask for help. After controlling the galaxy-level wild demon, Yi Tian began to interrogate the other party, trying to learn some news about the deserted tower from the other party's mouth. "Tell me all about the wasteland," Yi Tian asked. Then, the galaxy-level wild monster immediately began to tell the news about the deserted tower. Soon, Yi Tian learned more about the desolate tower. As he had known before, the barren pagoda was indeed only allowed to enter by barren monsters and innate gods, while other upper and lower races could not enter. The only requirement to enter the barren tower is to be able to mobilize the power of the barren world. Once the power of the barren world is mobilized, it is equivalent to getting the approval of the barren tower, and you can enter the barren tower. Although the other superiors and inferiors cannot enter the barren tower, the innate gods still prohibit them from approaching the barren tower. First, they are afraid that the situation of the barren tower will be leaked. Confirm that the condition for entering the barren tower is to mobilize the power of the barren world, then the problem is big. Some upper clans may take desperate risks, such as occupying the body of a desolate monster, or other means. What the congenital gods are most afraid of is that the news spreads to the outside world, causing the coveting of the outside world. From the mouth of this galaxy-level wild monster, the deserted tower contains great secrets. Even in the wild monster family, he cannot know it with his galaxy-level identity. Only after entering the deserted tower can we learn more. This galaxy-level wild monster has not entered the deserted tower for the time being, but to accumulate strength, and then enter the deserted tower when it is stronger, so as to ensure that he can obtain more benefits. At the same time, the galaxy-level wild monster also knew that the deserted tower had 3 peak universe gods and a wild monster who dominated the realm. As for other congenital gods, they occasionally enter the barren tower, but usually there are no congenital gods. In addition, the barren tower can be entered again and again, but each time it takes a long time, so every opportunity to enter the barren tower is very precious. Yi Tian asked a lot of things, and after understanding it, he decided to disguise as this galaxy-level wild demon. Of course, relying on camouflage talent alone is not enough, and some treasures to assist camouflage are also needed, and Yi Tian naturally does not lack such treasures. And this level of camouflage also needs to change the soul breath. The universe god and the sovereign can easily see through a person's soul aura. If the soul aura is different, just disguising the appearance and bloodline is useless. Other people will find it difficult to disguise the soul breath, but I can. I have practiced the Pluto Secret Tome, and there are some secret techniques to change the soul breath in the Pluto Secret Book. Once it is used, even the master can't see it. It's just that the maintenance time will not be too long, but just entering the barren tower is enough. Yi Tian thought. Then, Yi Tian let this galaxy-level desolate monster fall into a deep sleep for a long time, and he began to disguise himself. In a short while, Yi Tian completely disguised himself as the galaxy-level wild monster GNGU. Barren Tower. There are 3 small towers around this mysterious ancient tower standing in the center of the wild demon territory. These 3 small towers were built by the congenital gods, and a large number of lineups and defense methods were arranged on them. The 3 small towers can also support the defense, protect the barren tower, and prevent the enemy from sneaking into the barren tower. It can be said that the innate gods have done enough defensive measures, which shows the importance they attach to the barren tower. And among these 3 small towers, the powerhouses of the wild demon clan will be rotated every once in a while. This day, a galaxy-level wild monster came to the front of the deserted tower. This galaxy-level wild monster is Yi Tian. GNGU, why did you come here? A middle-aged man suddenly appeared in front of Yi Tian, and the other party stared at Yi Tian with a puzzled look and asked. Yi Tian took a look, and then used the copy talent to check the other party's situation and confirm the other party's identity. Elder Yaosh, I want to try entering the barren tower. For flowers, Yi Tian said seriously. He also knew the identity of the man in front of him from the ancient mouth of the galaxy-level wild demon sword. He is the demon pavilion of the peak-level powerhouse of the wild demon clan, the universe god, and one of the elders, with extremely powerful combat power. In terms of strength, Yi Tian is naturally not an opponent now. After all, with the strength of the elders of Yaosh, and mobilizing the power of the wild world, it is even enough to match the combat power of Tianzun. And GNGU is also a friend of Yaosh's father, and both of them are familiar with each other. If he hadn't interrogated GNGU, he would definitely show his flaws in the face of Yaosh elders, but now he even understands the tone and attitude of Zhenggu and Yaosh elders, so he will not reveal any mistakes. It's too early for you to enter the barren tower. The galaxy level and the galaxy level are two very important stages, and they are also two opportunities to get a shocking opportunity from the barren tower. You can accumulate some strength, so that you can get better chance. 0. Yaosh Elder persuaded. Yi Tian hurriedly said. Elder Yaosh, in fact, I have always hidden a part of my strength, and now I feel that the accumulation is almost there. I still want to enter the barren tower. Well, this is your decision, I can't stop it, you can go in if you want. The Yaosh elder disappeared and returned to one of the small towers. Immediately, Yi Tian walked towards the barren tower. From the beginning to the end, the elders of the demon pavilion and the other desolate demon powerhouses guarding this place did not find that Yi Tian was a fake GNGU. Barren Tower. Yi Tian came to the gate of the barren pagoda. The gate here is a layer of light curtain. If you want to walk into the light curtain, you must activate the talent of the barren pattern, mobilize the power of the barren world to wrap yourself, and then you can pass through the light curtain. Wild pattern talent, open. Yi Tian turned on the talent of the barren pattern, mobilized the power of the barren world to wrap himself, and immediately passed through the light curtain, truly entering the barren tower. Inside the barren tower, Yi Tian walked in and finally breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, before he came in, he was still a little worried, for fear that the wild demon clan had hidden other conditions. But obviously there are no hidden conditions, and mobilizing the power of the wilderness is the only condition. At this time, Yi Tian finally became curious. He really wants to know what secrets the barren tower contains, and this secret is about to be exposed in front of him. Chapter 650 The Origin of the Barren World. The Innate Barren Family. One more. Standing in the hall of the barren pagoda, Yi Tian looked around. From Jian Gu's mouth, he knew that there was no artifact in the barren tower, which was also a piece of information known to the public. Without the guidance of the artifact spirit, Yi Tian could only find the opportunity of the desolate tower by himself. Soon, he saw a stone tablet. There are some words on the stone tablet. These words are very ancient words. Yi Tian has never seen it, but he can understand it. Desolate Tower. Yi Tian saw that the barren pagoda and barren world were mentioned above. Obviously the name of barren pagoda and barren world came from this stone tablet. The stone tablet introduced the situation of the barren pagoda and barren world, but the information introduced surprised Yi Tian. The deserted world is not a world. Yi Tian was extremely shocked. He has always thought that the deserted world is a world, and I am afraid that many people in the outside world think so too. As for whether the Supremes know any information, he is not very clear about. 027. But now, from this stone tablet, Yi Tian knew the situation of the barren world. The wild world is actually a space storage equipment that surpasses the Xeon and treasure level, with many special abilities and even the origin of the world. The barren world can be regarded as the treasure of the world. Although there is no direct attack power, the defense ability surpasses the most terrifying defense supreme treasure, and even the most powerful supreme cannot break the barren world. It's no wonder that even the gods and demons can't do anything to the desolate world. If they can destroy the desolate world, they are more willing to destroy the desolate world. After all, without the desolate world, the combat power of those innate gods in the desolate world has dropped by a level. It is equivalent to an ordinary Cosmos clan. Yi Tian thought to himself. In addition, the barren world is not the product of this universe, but was born in the hands of the innate barren clan. As for what the innate desolate clan was, Yi Tian didn't know, but he guessed that the innate desolate clan should have been a race of a certain cosmos era, and had already died out in the cosmos cataclysm like other epochs. The deserted world is the only treasure they have left, and it has been passed down to this day. The barren tower is also mentioned above. The barren pagoda is a supreme treasure. Although it is not as good as the barren world, it has inherited the countless opportunities left by the innate barren clan. In addition, the barren pagoda only allows the innate spirits of the barren world to enter it, because the innate barren clan is a family of innate spirits, and the acquired spirits are not allowed to enter. This is also to prevent the opportunities of the innate spirits from being obtained by outsiders. No wonder, the desolate tower is actually an opportunity for those innate gods, but the innate desolate people did not expect that the innate gods of this generation of the desolate world actually created the desolate monsters, and the desolate people can also mobilize the power of the desolate world. It is equivalent to possessing the ability of innate spirits, which led to the misunderstanding that the wild monsters are also innate gods. And I, the acquired spirit, also has the talent of copying the talent of the wild pattern, and can also mobilize the power of the wild world. Yi Tian secretly said. It can be said that this is also a loophole of the barren tower. In addition, the stone tablet also mentioned that the chance of the barren tower depends on potential and combat power. The lower the cultivation base, the higher the potential. If the Supremes come here, the potential will be almost exhausted, and it will be difficult to obtain a good chance. This is also the reason why the Desolate Demon clan makes the Galaxy-level Desolate Demon, and the Galaxy-level Desolate Demon must accumulate enough to enter the Desolate Tower, otherwise the opportunity will be wasted. This stone tablet is actually an entrance, the entrance to the assessment. Yi Tian put both hands on the stone tablet, mobilized the trace of the source of the desolate world, and integrated into the stone tablet. Boom! The stone tablet vibrated, slowly showing a space entrance. Swish! Yi Tian walked into the entrance of this space and came to the depths of the desolate tower. In an inexplicable space, a ray of light shone on Yi Tian's body and seemed to be detecting something. Soon, a few minutes passed. An illusory light curtain appeared in front of Yi Tian with a line of words written on it. Potential. Supreme. Yi Tian doesn't quite know how Wangda divides the potential, but the highest potential is definitely very high, and it may even be the highest potential. Yi Tian has always been very confident about his potential. After the potential test, another portal appeared. Immediately, Yi Tian entered this portal and came to a piece of land. Boom boom boom. A savage breath came. Then, Yi Tian saw a huge idol, stepping on the earth and coming, every step, the earth trembled, and the law of endless earth rippled between heaven and earth. Its breath suppresses the heavens and the earth, like a hell-suppressing idol from hell, crushing all worlds. So strong. Yi Tian was surprised. Certainly. The strong he said refers to the great god level, because this idol only has a great god level cultivation base, and the cultivation base is not strong, but the combat power of the same level is absolutely terrible. In other words, even for the Desolate Demon clan, it would be extremely difficult to defeat this idol in the peak galaxy level realm, because Yi Tian found that he could not mobilize the Desolate realm power in this space, and could only rely on his own combat power. Boom! The idol had already attacked Yi Tian, and an elephant's foot was crushed, as if the sky had collapsed. Cut! Yi Tian didn't even take out the knife. Instead of the knife with one hand, he slashed with the knife with one hand. Puff! This idol was directly split into two halves by Yi Tian and dissipated between heaven and earth. Then, the second idol came, and his cultivation reached the galaxy level, but he was still beheaded by the public. One after another idols came to test Yi Tian's combat power, and soon the idols at the peak of the galaxy level appeared. But facing Yi Tian, idols of this level are still not qualified. Cut! Yi Tian beheaded the idol again with one sword. Boom! Another idol came, and this time it was a first-order galaxy-level idol, and its strength skyrocketed many times. But this idol still couldn't beat Yi Tian, and was completely crushed by Yi Tian. The second stage of the galaxy level. The third tier of the galaxy grade. The fourth level of the galaxy level. With the improvement of the idol's cultivation base and the improvement of combat power, Yi Tian gradually became more serious. Finally, an idol of the pinnacle of the galaxy appeared, and Yi Tian was shocked by its combat power. He took out all the combat power to fight against it, and this battle was fought for a long time. In terms of attack power, this idol is not as good as Yi Tian, but the defensive power is too terrifying. It is difficult for Yi Tian to completely damage this idol. -5.8 Akira, half a day has passed. In countless confrontations, Yi Tian finally killed the statue by relying on his long-lasting combat ability, exhausting the power of this statue. Next time it should be an idol of the universe god realm. I'm definitely not an opponent. Yi Tian thought to himself. Suddenly, the sky dimmed, and a huge elephant foot rolled over. Yi Tian's full-strength strike did not leave a scar on this elephant foot. Boom! Heaven and earth changed. Yi Tian found that he had been moved to another place. The examination is over. Obviously, he failed to defeat the idol of the universe god realm, and was deemed to have failed and moved away. At this time, Yi Tian returned to the stone tablet again. His assessment was over, and his reward should be coming soon. Chapter 651 Desolate Lord Order, the fourth layer of Chaos Golden Desolation art is complete. Seacon. Wow! A token, a scroll, a golden card, a total of 3 items appeared in front of Yi Tian. These 3 items are the rewards that Yi Tian got. He first picked up this token, and immediately began to refine it. Soon, he knew the usefulness of this token. Lord of the Wild. The Desolate Lord's Order is the proof to become the Lord of the Desolate Realm. As long as you reach the cultivation level of the Heavenly Venerate Realm, you can refine the Desolate Lord's Order to become the Lord of the Desolate Realm and mobilize the origin of the entire Desolate Realm. At that time, Yi Tian can suppress any supreme being in the barren world at will, and no one can contend against him in the barren world. It can be said that after getting the order of the barren master, the future can almost be regarded as a barren world. I actually got the Desolate Lord's order, I'm afraid those innate gods never thought of it. Yi Tian muttered. He estimated that his potential and combat power were too amazing, breaking the record of the deserted tower and letting the deserted tower take out the best rewards. And the reward of the Wild Lord's order is better than any treasure and inheritance. In the future, when he masters the barren world, other inheritances will naturally fall into his hands one by one. Immediately, Yi Tian opened the second reward, which was the scroll. Desolate trick. This is a method of inheritance. Yi Tian briefly browsed the Huang 29 tactic, and roughly knew the use of the Huang tactic. It is a mysterious inheritance method that can refine the source of the barren world and temper the flesh, and it can use the power of the barren world to speed up its own improvement. But Yi Tian frowned. Although the desolate art is very good, but he can mobilize only a trace of the source of the desolate world now, and a trace of the source of the desolate world is not very useful. Then, Yi Tian picked up the golden card and studied it. Soon, a set of information poured into Yi Tian's mind from the golden card. The wild card. This is a one-time treasure that can guide the origin of the deserted world, and it can lead a large number of the origin of the deserted world for its own use. If the wild card and the wild art work together, it is a perfect combination. Yi Tian said in surprise. Immediately, he was ready to practice here. The outside world is very unsafe, far less safe than here. Moreover, it took a long time for the wild monsters to enter the deserted tower, and he was not afraid of someone breaking in suddenly. Time accelerates 1000 times. After the acceleration time, Yi Tian began to practice. The barren card was urged, and countless barren world origins in the barren world origin sea poured into this place. And this change attracted the attention of some innate gods. What's the matter? How can I feel the source of the desert world shaking? I also feel it, as if a large number of the origins of the desolate world have been motivated, which innate god did this, and I have the impression that no innate god can have such a means. Could it be Lord Wilderness doing it? Maybe, let's just pretend that it didn't happen, maybe it's just that Arrogant is testing some kind of secret technique. However, they never imagined that Yi Tian did this. In addition, there is a barren tower as a cover, and even the barren monsters are not aware of the abnormality. If Yi Tian cultivated in the outside world, it would have been exposed at this moment. In the barren tower, Yi Tian is surrounded by the origin of the desolate world, and is shrouded in countless desolate world origins. Immediately, Yi Tian began to urge the desolate art to refine the source of the desolate realm. Before that, the source of the wild world could not be refined, but under the impetus of the barren art, the source of the wild world seemed to have become a kind of energy, which was continuously absorbed and refined into the body by Yi Tian. Suddenly, Yi Tian was shocked to find that his chaos golden desolate art also started to run automatically, and the speed was getting faster and faster. Originally, the cultivation speed of the Chaos Golden Desolation art was very slow, but now under the influence of the source of the desolate world, the Chaos Golden Desolation art is running fast, and the speed of progress is not known how many times faster than before. Too fast. Yi Tian was overjoyed. At this speed, the fourth level of his Chaos Golden Desolation art may reach the perfect state, and his physical limit will expand to an extremely terrifying level. According to his usual practice, Yi Tian doesn't know how long it will take him to cultivate the Chaos Golden Desolate art to the fourth layer perfection realm, and now he has saved countless years of hard work. Absorb, refine. Yi Tian began to practice with all his strength. Time passed by little, and the progress of the Chaos Golden Desolation art was very fast. The fourth layer of Chaos Golden Desolate art. The fourth level of Chaos Golden Desolation technique. The fourth level of Chaos Golden Desolation technique is the pinnacle of great achievement. Finally, Yi Tian cultivated the fourth layer of the Chaos Golden Desolate art to the perfect state, and at this time the source of the desolate world was finally exhausted. Looking at the disappearing card, breathe. If there are enough barren cards, he can recruit more barren world sources to cultivate the Chaos Golden barren art, and his strength will skyrocket in a short period of time. As the limit of the physical body has been raised, Yi Tian began to continue to increase the strength of the physical body. In this way, Yi Tian practiced in the desolate tower for a period of time, causing the power of the physical body to skyrocket many times again. After the cultivation was over, Yi Tian finally left the barren pagoda. Jianggu, how is the income? The demon pavilion elder appeared and asked Yi Tian. Elder Yaosh, I have obtained a small inheritance, I should be able to improve my strength after returning. Yi Tian said. Yes, remember to send a copy of the inheritance brand to the inheritance pavilion, you know. Yao's elder said. Yes. Yi Tian nodded. After the Yao's elder left, Yi Tian turned around and left. After leaving this area, Yi Tian began to teleport away quickly, until he stopped far away. There's one more thing to do. Yi Tian released GNGU and completely killed him before he could wake up. Not long after GNGU died, the Wild Monster clan discovered the news of GNGU's death. The first time, they began to send people to investigate GNGU's death. Soon, they found out that GNGU had entered the Barren Tower before his death, and immediately sent a cosmic god to the Barren Tower 027 to inquire about the situation. Outside the Barren Tower, the elders of Yaosh and others were questioned by the cosmic god. A few elders, did GNGU enter the Barren Tower before? The desolate demon universe god asked. Yes, the Yaosh elder said quickly, GNGU has indeed entered, and it hasn't been long since he left. The desolate monster of the universe said, GNGU is dead, we are investigating the cause of his death. What, how did GNGU die? The Yaosh elder was stunned. Not long after he left, he was killed. Immediately, he was extremely angry. Check, be sure to check carefully, it's very likely that the upper clan did it. They may have heard that GNGU entered the Barren Tower, and GNGU's strength is not strong, and it is easy to be caught by some powerful galaxy level and universe gods. Maybe they just want to know the secret of the Barren Tower. How many years ago, the last cosmic god who coveted the Barren Tower was beheaded by the congenital gods. Since then, this has never happened again. The Yaosh elder roared. Afterwards, the wild demon clan was mobilized, and this incident caused more waves than the martial arts battle. Wu Zhan was killed by aliens, and GNGU was probably killed by those superiors, which also involved the Barren Tower. Anything involving the Barren Tower is extremely important, and this has already touched the root of the Barren clan. Therefore, it must be thoroughly investigated. At the same time, the congenital gods also knew about this matter and began to investigate. However, Yi Tian has activated the bracelet at this time, ready to leave the barren world. Chapter 652. A piece of golden patterned purple wood. One more. The bracelet is activated. Under the guidance of a force, Yi Tian tore the barrier of the barren world and slowly left the barren world. This process is a bit long, takes more than 10 minutes, and cannot be disturbed, otherwise the transmission will fail. 10 minutes passed quickly. Wow, Yi Tian successfully left the barren world and returned to the outside world. And not long after Yi Tian left, a terrifying divine consciousness swept through here, and it was a powerful innate god. But no trace of Yi Tian was found, and this consciousness continued to explore other places. Came back. Yi Tian stood on the Divine Blade battleship and breathed a sigh of relief. Immediately, he was arranged to rest in a certain cabin. A month later, the people Yi Tian waited for were picked up by another ordinary warship and sent back to the headquarters of the Divine Blade Alliance. After all, the Shinblade battleship still needs to stay outside the deserted world, waiting for other people to come out. As long as there are still people alive, they need to wait, unless it is too long. Therefore, those Yi Tian who have come out need to be sent away in advance. It is impossible to continue to wait. Moreover, the Divine Blade Alliance is also in urgent need of Zichen wood, so they need to bring back those who came out. A few days later, Yi Tian and others returned to the headquarters of the Divine Blade Alliance. Afterwards, Yi Tian and others went to hand in the quest. In a task room, a peak powerhouse of the universe god named Chen Qi handed over tasks to Yi Tian. True monarch Wanfa, I don't know how much Zichen wood you have obtained this time. The Divine Blade Alliance will decide the time for you to enter the War Blade world to cultivate based on the number of Zichen wood. The more Zichen wood you hand in, the more you get more time. Chenzuki universe god opened his mouth and explained. Then, how much time can a Zichen wood be exchanged for? Yi Tian asked seriously. An ordinary purple wood can be exchanged for 1 year. Chenzuki universe god said, it's a real 1 year. If you use time accelerator, you can't increase the time. It will be counted as 1 year in time accelerator. If it is the top quality purple wood, it can be exchanged for 10 years, and a golden patterned purple wood can be exchanged for 100 years. Obviously, Chen Qi universe god also knows that Yi Tian has a talent for time. If there is no restriction, Yi Tian can use 1 year as 1,000 years, and then the impact on the War Blade world will be too great. Therefore, he had to explain clearly to Yi Tian. Yi Tian couldn't help but be disappointed after hearing this. He really had plans to use his time talent, but the Divine Blade Alliance had taken this into consideration, so it was impossible for him to take advantage of it. I have a lot of purple wood in my hand. Chenzuki Universe God can verify the authenticity. Yi Tian took out the purple wood. I saw a tree of Zichin trees appear in front of Chenzuki Universe God, which surprised Chenzuki Universe God. Even if the average person is lucky enough to get out of the deserted world, it is very good to be able to get a purple wood. There are even many people who are so scared that they have not even got the purple wood, so they hurriedly activated the bracelet and came out, and the task was directly fail. There are very few galaxy levels that can get more than 2 purple woods, not to mention that Yi Tian is at the peak of the galaxy level realm. Chen Qi Universe God also knew Yi Tian's strength was very strong. He used to be the first highness of the human race and even the universe, but he would not think that Yi Tian could get too much purple wood. But now, there are too many Zichin wood here. 10 Zichin trees. 20 Zichin trees. 30 Zichin trees. 40 purple woods. In the end, Yi Tian took out a total of 65 Zichin woods, and there were some fragments in the outside world. These fragments accumulated to be about half a tree. However, these are all ordinary Zichin wood. It's incredible. Chenzuki Universe God exclaimed. He checked the purple woods, all of them were real, none of them were fake. True Monarch Wanfa, I can count 66 of these purple woods for you, and you can enter the world of war blade and knives to practice for 66 years. Chenzuki Cosmic Shinto, okay, let's count 66 years. Yi Tian said with satisfaction. Immediately, he took out another Zichin wood. This purple wood is much larger than ordinary purple wood, and the color is darker. It is accompanied by a fragrant breath, which makes people feel refreshed. Exquisite Zichin wood. Chen Qi Cosmic God widened his eyes, staring at this superb purple wood tree in disbelief. Ordinary Zichin wood can only preserve a trace of the soul of the God of the universe, but the best Zichin wood can preserve a trace of the soul of the master, and its value is far from the ordinary Zichin wood. True Monarch Wanfa, you have gained 76 years in total for 10 years of this top-quality purple wood tree. Chenzuki Universe God changed his words. Immediately, the God of the universe Chenzuki went through the procedures for handing over tasks to Yi Tian, and Yi Tian successfully completed this task. This time, Yi Tian not only gained 76 years of training in the Warblade world, but also gained a lot of points from the Divine Blade Alliance. These points are used in exchange for a lot of resources in the Divine Blade Alliance. At the same time, the news that Yi Tian had obtained a large amount of Zichin wood spread throughout the entire Divine Blade Alliance. Immediately, the Divine Blade Alliance roared up and down, all of them shocked by Yi Tian's achievements. The depths of the Divine Blade Alliance. Divine Blade Supreme also heard that Yi Tian had obtained nearly 66 ordinary purple woods and 1 top-quality purple wood, and was also very surprised. Quote, Yi Tian is so courageous that he dares to plunder so many purple woods, which must have caused great turmoil in the barren world. With the desolate world's behavior, he will definitely send strong men to hunt him. He is now able to coming back alive, its strength is really surprising. Divine Blade Supreme smiled. Yi Tian plundered so many purple woods for the Divine Blade Alliance, which was a good thing for the Divine Blade Alliance and the human race. In fact, these purple woods are not only prepared for the high-level officials of the Shinblade Alliance, but the other 8 supreme-level forces also have a share, but it is only the Shinblade Alliance to capture the purple woods. Tianlin Giant City, in the Tianj. Yi Tian returned here and immediately entered the closed room of retreat. In the secret room, Yi Tian took out a Zichin wood and showed a smile. To Zhao, Zichin wood is such a good thing, and naturally I have to keep it for the members of Tianj. How can I contribute at all? After a while, he took out about 80 Zichin trees, and the Zichin wood contributed to the Divine Blade Alliance was not as good as the Zichin wood he left behind. Suddenly, Yi Tian took out 3 top-quality purple woods. I have a total of 4 top-quality purple woods, and giving the Shinblade Alliance a top-grade purple tree is also worthy of the Shinblade Alliance. And the training time in the Warblade world, decades is enough, too long is a waste of time, might as well keep it for yourself. Yi Tian said. After putting away these purple woods, Yi Tian took a portion of his palm, and a piece of purple wood appeared in the palm of his hand. This piece of Zichin wood is different from other Zichin wood, with a faint golden pattern on it. This is a piece of golden patterned Zichin wood. Although there is only one piece, the value of others is too high, because it can preserve a trace of the Supreme Soul. Chapter 653 to Advanced Swordsmanship. Second update. This piece of golden patterned purple wood can be used by a Supreme Being once. Yi Tian thought to himself. The golden patterned Zichen wood is also an extremely precious treasure in the barren world, and it is very rare. Yi Tian did not find the golden patterned Zichen wood at first, and those lower clans had no chance to obtain the golden patterned Zichen wood at all. This piece of golden patterned purple wood was found by Yi Tian, who killed the desolate demon Wuzan and found it from the storage equipment of Wuzan. Just this piece of golden patterned purple wood is enough to make a supreme pay a huge price, because it is hope. If a supreme being keeps a trace of his soul in the golden patterned Zichen wood, even if he is killed in battle, the trace of his soul can be preserved, and there is still hope of resurrection, but the price is very high. But no matter how much the cost is, it is still hope, which is countless times better than direct death. The wild world has Zichen wood. Although I killed Wuzan and GNGU at the beginning, if the creators of the wild monster clan are willing to pay some price, they can still be resurrected. Once GNGU is resurrected, I will enter the deserted tower. It's exposed. However, people in the deserted world dare not chase out, so I don't need to worry about it. Yi Tian secretly said, this piece of golden patterned Zichen wood, he plans to keep it temporarily, maybe it will be of great use in the future. Immediately, he put away this piece of golden patterned purple wood and kept it in the ancient chaos. After some time 027, Yi Tian received a notification from the Divine Blade Alliance, allowing him to go to the War Blade world to practice in the near future. The War Blade world was at the headquarters of the Divine Blade Alliance, so Yi Tian came to the Divine Blade Alliance headquarters again on this day. Under the guidance of the relevant personnel of the God Blade Alliance headquarters, Yi Tian came to the War Blade Temple. The War Blade Temple is the storage place of the War Blade world, and it is also the entrance. Only through the War Blade Temple can one enter the War Blade world. At the gate of the War Blade Temple, Yi Tian saw some acquaintances, all of them were Galaxy level and Galaxy level who had accepted the mission of the deserted world. They had also completed the mission and could enter the War Blade world to practice. Everyone was waiting at the gate of the War Blade Temple, and after a while, they were all sent to the War Blade world. Without letting Yi Tian and others wait long, a master of the Shenblade Alliance appeared. This lord is called the Zhenshin Lord, who is responsible for the opening of the War Blade world and related order this time. Wait a while, the world of War Blades will open. You enter one by one. When you enter, do not release murderous aura and resist the world of War Blades. After all, the world of War Blades is the most powerful treasure, even if no one promotes the world of War Blades, but relying on the instinctive attack aura of the Blade world, it is enough to annihilate you. The Lord of Zhenshin reminded CJFI. I understand. The crowd responded. Soon, Zhenshin Master opened the world of War Blade swords. Everyone entered the War Blade Temple and saw a whirlpool in the War Blade Temple. This vortex is the entrance to the world of War Blades. Shish. Everyone flew into the world of War Blades one by one, very orderly. Yi Tian also entered the world of War Blades later. As soon as he entered the world of War Blades, Yi Tian felt the difference in this world. In the outside world, although Yi Tian can feel the existence of the law of the knife, it is far from being clear at this moment. In the world of Warblade swords, the law of the sword is everywhere, and even the origin of the sword can be seen everywhere. Moreover, Yi Tian surprisingly discovered that in the world of Warblade swords, a new law of the sword could even be bred. In other words, the law of the sword here is not found in the outside world, and it is the law of the sword that belongs to the world of Warblade swords. This is the same as Yi Tian condensed the origin of his own knife and created his own knife law. In an instant, Yi Tian was attracted by the new law of the blade in the world of Warblade. Although other people's Tao of the Blade realm is far inferior to Yi Tian, but in the world of Warblade, their speed of comprehending Tao of the Blade is far faster than before. It is conceivable that each of them has made rapid progress in the world of Warblades. Somewhere in the world of Warblade, Yi Tian sat cross-legged, closed his eyes, and carefully comprehended the law of the sword that was bred in the Warblade sword world. Years have passed by, the time for the others came one by one, and they were moved out by the Warblade world. But Yi Tian could practice for 76 years in the Warblade world. Gradually, Yi Tian was the only one left in the Blade world. In a blink of an eye, 20 years have passed. On this day, Yi Tian suddenly woke up. Although I created the law of the sword and condensed the origin of the sword, the origin of my sword is not complete. The origin of my sword only contains the law of the sword and the perception of the sword that I created. In fact, the origin of the sword is that new laws of the sword can be continuously bred, and those new laws of the sword can be something that I have not created before. The Tao of the blade is inherently infinite, and I should let the source of the blade breed new laws of the blade, so that my Tao of the blade realm can break through the limitations and step into a new realm. After realizing this, Yi Tian completely changed the way of cultivation. He allows the source of the knife in his body to operate on his own, creating a new law of the knife on his own. In this way, Yi Tian's progress speed is getting faster and faster, reaching an incredible level. This day is also the 50th year that Yi Tian entered the world of war blade swords. Yi Tian has a new insight. He began to perfect the Tianyu sword. Before that, his Tianyu saber had already reached half a step to the advanced Tao of the blade mastery, and he was only one step away from reaching the advanced Tao of the blade mastery. Now, he is ready to perfect the Tianyu saber to the advanced realm of Tao of the sword. The most advanced Tao of the blade mastery is considered to be the most advanced Tao of the blade mastery. Among the master-level Tao of the blade masters, there are even many people who have not created the supreme-level Tao of the blade mastery. And Yi Tian is only at the peak of the galaxy level, and he will soon create the ultimate swordsmanship. Once it is spread, it will definitely shake the entire universe. As time passed, Yi Tian kept trying to perfect the Tianyu saber, and the world of war blades became his testing ground. Anyway, he is the only one in the war blade world now, and the space here is extremely solid. No matter how much he tossed, there is no way to damage a Xeon Supreme treasure. Therefore, he is extremely at ease trying to perfect his Tianyu saber. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years have passed. Sky Moon Knife. A round of blade light swept through the air, and the blade light was even mixed with the power of Chaos Avenue. The power of this blade was extremely terrifying, and even the space here left a space imprint. A space imprint was created in the inner space of the Xeon Supreme Treasure, enough to see the terrifying intensity of the power of this move. Finally perfected, my Tianyu knife has finally reached the advanced level of the Tao of the sword, but it is still far from the most advanced Tao of the blade. His achievements far surpass me. Yi Tian thought to himself. There is still some time left. Yi Tian continues to comprehend, and strives to make the Tianyu saber more perfect, at least to stabilize the Tianyu saber to the realm of advanced Tao of the sword. 16 years passed in a flash. On this day, Yi Tian came out of the world of war blade swords. Chapter 654 Destroy Creatures. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. As soon as he came out of the world of war blades, Yi Tian received news from Tianj. The first time, Yi Tian returned to Tianlin Giant City. Tianj headquarters. Yi Tian immediately went to see his wife Xiao Yu and younger sister Yi Yu. Yuaa, is what you said in the previous subpoena true? Yi Tian asked. It's true, Xiao Yu said solemnly. During the period of time when you entered the world of war blade and swords, some cosmic gods, masters and even masters of the human race seemed to go to one place, and many people died. Some monsters suddenly appeared in dozens of star fields. Although they were suppressed and killed in time, they still brought a lot of losses to the clan. It caused many ordinary human races to die. Moreover, this situation has not completely ended, and some monsters still appear from time to time. Yi Tian frowned fiercely. This is no small matter. Moreover, the human race died a lot of cosmic gods and masters. Could it be that there is a war? Yi Tian guessed, but shook his head immediately, feeling that it was not a war. If it was a war, it should have been spread out long ago. Before, the Divine Blade Alliance collected purple wood, which should have been prepared for those cosmic gods and rulers. Obviously, something big happened, so the Divine Blade Alliance was so anxious. Although some cosmic gods and rulers died this time, but there should be hope for these universe gods and masters to be resurrected, but there is a price to pay. Yi Tian thought to himself. Now that he wants to probe the news himself, he certainly cannot probe any useful news. The high-level human race is obviously concealing some news, otherwise they will definitely tell the origin of these monsters. Go see Kunwu Supreme and ask. Yi Tian decided. Immediately, he applied to enter the Supreme Hall of the human race and asked to see the Supreme Kunwu. What surprised Yi Tian was that Kunwu Supreme was not in the Supreme Hall of the human race, and as for where he went, no one told Yi Tian. In the end, Yi Tian contacted his former guardian of the Dark Master, and successfully contacted. Master of the Darkness, do you have time? Yi Tian messaged. Have, the Dark Lord responded. Tianlin City, somewhere in the attic. Yi Tian met the Dark Lord. But as soon as they met, Yi Tian was a little surprised. Because the Dark Master was injured, and the injury was not light, the breath was much weaker than before. True Monarch Wanfa, you came to me to ask about the recent monsters. The Dark Lord asked. Not bad, Yi Tian nodded, and then said again, "Gloomy Master, are you injured?" "Well, a little hurt." The Dark Lord admitted that it was difficult for him to hide Yi Tian, so he didn't hide it. "What happened? I also heard that some cosmic gods and masters have fallen." Yi Tian asked. The Master of Darkness was silent for a while, and finally said, "Well, I can tell you, but you'd better not reveal it, this is a big secret between the universes." Yi Tian nodded and immediately listened. The Dark Master said, "True monarch Wanfa, you should still remember to destroy the abyss." "Remember." Yi Tian nodded and said, "I was able to attack the battle power of His Highness at the Emperor level, and I broke through in the abyss of destruction, which is not restricted by the rules of the universe and is the only place in the universe that completely isolates the rules of the origin of the universe." Could it be that this time? What has something to do with the abyss of destruction? 1. The Lord of Darkness sighed. Yes, it is indeed related to the abyss of destruction. There are destroying creatures in the depths of the abyss of destruction. They only destroy everything, and they will come out every few years to destroy. Not long ago, the abyss of destruction was shaking, and it was suspected that there were destroying creatures. Come out. So, the various races in the universe discussed it. Each race must send some strong people to suppress the abyss of destruction. Everyone who goes there is above the universe god, and I am one of them, but I can only to deal with some weaker destroying creatures. It is the Supremes who really rely on them. What? All races in the universe need to unite to deal with destroying creatures. How powerful are those destroying creatures? Yi Tian was shocked. That's right. The Masters of Darkness showed some fear. Those destroying creatures are very terrifying. Even if all members of the Protoss are dispatched, it is difficult to fight against the destroying creatures, so all kinds of joints are needed. Some of the destroying creatures are strong, some are strong, it is very weak. Even the first supreme being of the universe cannot defeat it. It needs several supreme beings to unite, and the weak are not as good as the universe god. In order to stop these destroying creatures, all races have lost a lot. I was seriously injured and dying, so I withdrew from the battlefield. I did not participate in the following battle. It is said that a group of destroying creatures rushed out, and some weak destroying creatures also took the opportunity to run out. Those supremes had no time to pay attention to those weak destruction creatures, only for powerful destruction creatures. For flowers, Master of the Darkness, do you mean that the destructive creatures who escaped are the ones who made trouble in the human race? Yi Tian frowned. Yeah, the Dark Lord said. However, they are all weak destroying creatures, most of which are not as powerful as the universe gods, but destroying creatures are difficult to kill, and they must be destroyed before they can be killed. In addition, destroying creatures, it also has a terrifying ability, that is, it is hidden in the atmosphere of destruction and killing, which is difficult to find. Because of this, it is difficult to kill creatures of destruction. Now, there are still some creatures of destruction hidden in the territory of the human race. We are thinking find out how to find them and kill them. 1. 0. Yi Tian chatted a lot with the Dark Lord, and gradually learned more about destroying creatures. Destroyed creatures can also grow. They only need to constantly devour living beings to become very powerful. They do not need cultivation and enlightenment at all. They are creatures that violate the rules of the universe and are not restricted by the rules of the universe. The only defect of destroying creatures is that the intelligence is not high, and there is another aspect that is not a defect, that is, destroying creatures cannot escape. But in fact, in an era of the universe, not even one person can be detached. So, this defect is not a defect at all. Master of Darkness, what if the various races in the universe cannot stop the destruction of creatures? Yi Tian asked. If it can't be stopped. The Dark Lord sighed and said, then the cosmos will be destroyed early. According to the records of other eras, if the invasion of destructive creatures cannot be stopped, the cosmos will fall into destruction, and eventually the cosmos will be destroyed. The Great Disruption is also a measure for the universe to protect itself. After all, the Great Disruption of the universe is only to destroy the creatures in the universe, but not to destroy the universe itself. But if you don't do this, it will destroy the characteristics of living things and even destroy everything in the universe. It will lead to the complete destruction of the universe. If we destroy the destroyed creatures, the time of the cosmos will be delayed for a long time. For example, in the last epoch of the universe, it seems that the destroyed creatures have been destroyed, delaying the time of the cosmos. After learning this information, Yi Tian separated from the Gloom Lord. Yi Tian returned to the heavenly pavilion, while the Dark Lord went back to heal his wounds. If it weren't for Yi Tian, it would be impossible for the Dark Lord to leave the border. Chapter 655 Find Destruction Creatures. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Panyu was Yi Tian's hometown. Yi Tian was a little worried about Panyu's situation, so he sent some Tianj members back to Panyu to collect information on Panyu. Once a situation arises, report it as soon as possible. And the disk region galaxy is Yi Tian's focus area. Yi Tian is not ready to attack the galaxy level yet. He wants to have a firmer foundation, compress the immortal power, and strengthen the immortal soul. After he can't improve, he will attack the galaxy level. Occasionally, Yi Tian also went to comprehend the Chaos Dao, created the Chaos True skill, stabilized his foundation, and improved his combat power. Time goes by so slowly. 1 year later, a Tianj disciple returned to the Tianj headquarters from outside, begging to see Yi Tian. Tianj, headquarters. Yi Tian met this disciple. Li Cheng, a disciple of Tianj, has met the pavilion master. Li Cheng respectfully said, Yi Tian knew this Li Cheng, and he had a good talent. Now he was at the peak of the great god level cultivation base, and his combat power was not wrong. Li Cheng, you asked me to go to Panyu to collect information, why did you come back early? Yi Tian asked. Li Cheng hurriedly said, Pavilion Master, we have some findings, but we are not too afraid to confirm it, so we sent back some of the information we collected and handed it over to the Pavilion Master in person. After speaking, Li Cheng took out a jade slip and presented it. Yi Tian held the jade slip, and Divine Sense entered it to browse the information. Soon, Yi Tian frowned slightly. From the intelligence point of view, there is indeed an accident in Panyu. A strange situation appeared in some of the stars in Panyu, that is, all the humans above the stars disappeared, but there was no trace of battle on them. This intelligence recorded in detail the stars that had the accident, as well as the situation of each star. In short, the battle did not happen, and no one knew what happened. It seemed that in an instant, the humans above the stars disappeared. This has also happened on some technology planets, and the surveillance on the technology planet has not captured anything, but the planet dimmed in an instant, and those technology products were completely useless. After the surveillance was restored, the humans on the planet were gone. It should be destroying creatures. Yi Tian thought to himself, Li Cheng and other Tianj disciples don't know about destroying creatures, I just asked them to inquire about the sudden disappearance of human beings in Panyu, or the attack of monsters. They just suspected these things. The disappearance of humans on the planet has something to do with monsters, but it's not certain. Immediately, Yi Tian carefully browsed some of the planets where the incident occurred, and recalled the star field map of the disk field and the location of the stars. Suddenly, his face changed. This should be the so-called destroying creature, it has been advancing in a straight line, these accidental planets can be connected in a straight line, and the end of the straight line is the Milky Way. Yi Tian doesn't want something to happen to the Milky Way. If something happens to an ordinary planet in the Milky Way, that's all. In case of encountering the Earth, with the combat power of those humans on Earth, where is the opponent of this creature that destroys it? And according to the route, this destroyed creature is not very far from the Milky Way. It seems that we must go to Panyu. Yi Tian muttered. Immediately, he talked to his wife Xiao Yu and his younger sister Yi Yu, and asked them to manage Tianj, and then went to Panyu alone. Disk Domain. After Yi Tian entered Panyu, he did not go to see the undead army master, but rushed to the Milky Way directly. It didn't take long for Yi Tian's spaceship to descend on the Milky Way. The Milky Way is very large, and it would be too difficult for Yi Tian to find and destroy creatures by himself. Moreover, even if a destroying creature destroys a planet and devours the human beings on a planet, the speed at which he learns the news is too slow, and it is absolutely too late to rush over. Therefore, Yi Tian is ready to let the forces of the Milky Way help. Silver Buddha School, the true monarch of the Treasure Buddha. Yi Tian thought of this person. True monarch Baofo is one of the several galaxies in the Milky Way, and one of the supreme elders of the Silver Buddha sect, with great power. If you contact True Monarch Baofo, and then let True Monarch Baofo contact other powerhouses and forces, he will definitely help him find destroying creatures very quickly. Go to the Silver Buddha School. Yi Tian decided. Swish, Yi Tian teleported a few times and came to the front of the Silver Buddha sect. Boom, the aura belonging to Yi Tian spread throughout the entire Silver Buddha sect, causing countless disciples, elders and even the sect master of the Silver Buddha sect to fall into panic in an instant. Who came to trouble my Silver Buddha sect? The old voice resounded throughout the world. Next moment, an old man in a Buddhist robe walked out from the depths of the Silver Buddha sect. Seeing this person, countless disciples of the Silver Buddha sect shouted, I see the true monarch of the treasure Buddha. True monarch Baofo, how are you? Yi Tian greeted with a smile. True monarch Baofo has never seen Yi Tian, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know Yi Tian. The portrait of Tian was earlier in the entire Milky Way, and since the true monarch Baofo had seen the portrait of Yi Tian, he recognized Yi Tian immediately. It turned out to be the envoy of the town. Baofo Zhenjin politely said. Yi Tian had used the envoy order of the town region in the Milky Way, so he also knew Yi Tian's identity. Now, Yi Tian is already at the galaxy level and is no longer a highness. It is not suitable for him to call Yi Tian his highness, but it is more suitable to call Yi Tian the messenger of the town. True monarch Baofo knew very well that Yi Tian, who was already at the peak of the galaxy level, wanted to kill him easily. Therefore, he did not dare to offend Yi Tian at all. True monarch Baofo, how about I ask you to do me a favor as the envoy of the town? Yi Tian said. The envoy of the town is very polite, please tell me, if I can help, I will definitely help. Zhenjin Baofo hurriedly said. Yi Tian directly gave a piece of information to true monarch Baofo, look at this piece of information. Zhenjin Baofo took over the information and browsed it carefully. In this information, it records the incidents of monsters attacking various areas of human beings, as well as the disappearance of all human beings on some planets in Panyu. After reading it, Zhenjin Baofo's expression changed. Emissary from the town, is this information true? Zhenjin Baofo asked. It's true, Yi Tian affirmed. According to the information, the disappearance of some planetary humans in Panyu is very likely to be caused by one of the monsters. You don't need to know the origin of this monster, you only know that it is very scary and it's the mighty even compares to the supreme human beings. What? 1. Zhenjin Baofo was shocked. What is the concept of human supremacy? Even if his cultivation base is relatively low, he still knows. Supreme is the protective umbrella of human beings, the existence of Supreme 5.8, who can kill him countless times at a glance. But among those monsters, there is an existence comparable to the Supreme, how terrifying. Seeing that true monarch Baofo fell into fear, Yi Tian said again, don't worry, this monster that entered Panyu is naturally not that powerful, it should be a weaker monster, but it is not something you can match. I worry about this. The head monster will enter the galaxy to wreak havoc. If it comes to the Silver Buddha sect, no one in your Silver Buddha sect can resist it. Emissary of the town, what should we do now? Zhenjin Baofo hurriedly asked. True monarch treasure Buddha, I hope you can mobilize the disciples of the Silver Buddha sect and the external forces, and even persuade other forces to investigate the entire galaxy. If there is a missing person on that planet, let me know as soon as possible. Only in this way can I find it. Kill that monster. Yi Tian said seriously. Okay, I'll do it now. Zhenjin Baofo hurriedly replied. Chapter 656 There are clues. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. The influence of true monarch Baofo in the Milky Way is still very large, and the information that true monarch Baofo will give to him by Yi Tian has also been shown to the leaders of other forces one by one. As a result, other forces also responded to Yi Tian's call and sent disciples to find the traces of the destroyed creatures. After all, this is also an act of self-preservation for them, and they are naturally willing to do it, and no one wants to face such a terrifying creature of destruction. This day, Zhenjin Baofo got a piece of information. There is a continent in the fairy system and the humans of many planets have disappeared. True monarch Baofo who got this news completely believed Yi Tian's information. Before, he did have a hint of doubt, but now he has no doubts at all. So many human beings have disappeared, and there are still great god-level powerhouses in the population, but they don't even have the opportunity to communicate. So many humans and powerhouses disappeared in an instant, showing the horror of that monster. Zhenjin Baofo was a little panicked, so he sped up his manpower to find the trace of the monster. Andromeda is not far from the Milky Way, and the two river systems belong next door. So, that monster could enter the galaxy at any moment. Time passed little by little, and another month passed in the blink of an eye. This day, Yi Tian was resting in the attic of the Silver Buddha sect when the true monarch Baofo appeared. Emissary from the town, just now, the disciples patrolling the Gita galaxy received a message that all the humans on a planet were missing, and then the disciple disappeared and could not be contacted. Zhenjin Baofo hurriedly said, block the Gita galaxy and dozens of nearby galaxies, and we immediately rushed to the Gita galaxy. Yi Tian said solemnly, yes, treasure Buddha true monarch Dao. Swish, Yi Tian waved his hand, and a huge spaceship landed over the Silver Buddha sect. Then, Zhenjin Baofo and some great gods of the Silver Buddha sect followed Yi Tian into the spaceship. Immediately, Yi Tian controlled the spacecraft to shuttle to the Gita galaxy. Just when Yi Tian arrived at the missing planet in the Gita galaxy, he found that some spaceships had also come here. Shish! Figures flew out from the spaceship, and they were some great gods, as well as several galaxies. Among them, there are several people Yi Tian knows. For example, the great god of thunderstorm, city lord Yinyu, etc. There is another great god Qin Niu, Yi Tian's old acquaintance. He also came here, obviously one of the people looking for destroying creatures. I have seen the envoy of the town. I have seen the envoy of the town. I have seen the town envoy. 1. A great god, a true god, and a galaxy level all greeted Yi Tian very politely. Yi Tian nodded slightly and gestured. Hurry up, if you are willing to follow along, get on my spaceship, or leave this area as soon as possible, or if you encounter that monster, you will not be able to live. Yi Tian reminded. Let's go with the town envoy. 1. A galaxy level said. The others also responded one by one, all willing to enter Yi Tian's spaceship. As for the disciples who block the Gita galaxy and other galaxies, it is undoubtedly very dangerous, but there is no way, it is not easy to catch a destroying creature, and there will be sacrifices when necessary. But as long as Yi Tian finds the destroying creature at the fastest speed, the other humans in the galaxy will be safe. When everyone entered Yi Tian's spaceship, Yi Tian controlled the spaceship to teleport again, constantly searching for traces of destroyed creatures in the Gita galaxy. One area after another, Yi Tian kept searching. No. Neither here, still none. A few minutes passed, Yi Tian was also in a hurry. Don't look at it for only a few minutes, but as long as it drags on a little longer, the destroyed creatures may leave these galaxies and go to other places, and it will not be easy to find. Do you know of places with strong slaughter aura, such as battlefields? Yi Tian asked. The reason why he asked this is because destruction creatures like to hide in places with a strong atmosphere of killing and destruction. If there is such a place nearby, the destruction creature might hide in it. Everyone thought about it, and suddenly, the galaxy-level powerhouse Tianyu Zhenjin said, emissary from the town, there is indeed a battlefield nearby. It is rumored that it is one of the ancient battlefields. Many powerhouses died in it, and the killing atmosphere is not scattered, and there are often human beings. Break in and die inside. Yes, that battlefield is called Soul Slaughter Abyss. Treasure Buddha True Monarch Tao. Slaying Soul Abyss, tell me the location, and I'll let the spaceship pass through. Yi Tian said. Immediately, True Monarch Tianyu informed Yi Tian the coordinates of Soul Slaughtering Abyss. Yi Tian entered the coordinates, and the spaceship shuttled past. Boom, the spaceship descended to kill Soul Abyss. Soul Slaughtering Abyss is located on a small continent, and now this continent is dead, all living beings are extinct, there is a huge crack abyss in the middle, this abyss is the battlefield, it is Soul Slaughtering Abyss. The spaceship was parked outside the continent and did not drive in. If this place is really a place where destroying creatures hide and rest, then this continent is a battlefield and cannot be preserved. Therefore, Yi Tian would not drive in. You are hiding inside the spaceship. This spaceship is already very solid, and I have integrated it into a source artifact. Even if you face a blow from the universe god, you can resist a little. So, don't go out. 1. Yi Tian said. Yes. The crowd responded. 027 swish. Yi Tian flew out and headed for Soul Slaughtering Abyss. At this time, Zhenjin Baofo frowned and said, the legend of that monster is terrible, can the envoy from the town really be able to deal with this monster? Definitely, Tianyu Zhenjin said. Don't forget, the envoy of the town was once the highness of the highest hall of the human race. Moreover, I got a piece of information from an old friend in the center of Panyu that the 5 hegemons of Panyu, one of the rank forces, the Sword Emperor sect, the Sword Feather God, was killed by the envoys from the town. Immortal existence. What? Everyone was shocked. Especially the great god Qin Niu, his eyes widened with disbelief. For him, the incomparably weak Yi Tian has become so powerful. Cosmic God, he also heard about this level not long ago, a terrifying existence with infinite lifespan, an existence that can destroy the Milky Way with only one hand. This existence was actually killed by Yi Tian. After hearing Zhenjin Tianyu's words, the others breathed a sigh of relief. They stood inside the spacecraft, watching the outside world through the display screen. Outside the Slaughtering Soul Abyss, Yi Tian did not enter the Slaughtering Soul Abyss, but expanded his copy talent, covering the entire Soul Slaughtering Abyss. No matter how powerful the concealment method of destroying creatures is, they should not be able to avoid the copy talent, unless they have the supreme means to avoid the detection of the copy talent. Soon, there will be results. Chapter 657 Fighting Destruction Creatures. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Sure enough, it is in the slaughtering soul abyss. Yi Tian's eyes flashed, secretly said. Just now, his copy talent shrouded the entire soul slaughtering abyss, sensing the talent of a powerful creature. Judging from the talent situation, that powerful creature is a creature of destruction, possessing various dark attributes such as god-level destruction talent and devouring talent. However, judging from the talent situation, although the destruction talent is special, it is far less special than the ability it has now. Obviously, the destructive talent can have such special destructive power and devouring ability. Whether it is talent, it is more about its own constitution and the special destructive power it possesses. Originally, Yi Tian also planned to copy the talent of destroying creatures to see if he could have the ability to destroy creatures. Looking at it now, this plan is in vain. Of course, Yi Tian was not disappointed either. Go back a little bit, that monster is in the soul slaughter abyss. Yi Tian sent the message back to the inside of the spaceship and informed Baofo Zhenjin and others. Inside the spaceship, Zhenjin Baofo and the others became solemn and nervous when they heard that the monster was in the soul slaughtering abyss. Although they believed in Yi Tian's strength, the strength of this monster was unknown, and no one knew what the true strength of this monster was. If Yi Tian is not an opponent, they will be finished. At such a critical juncture, they had to be nervous. Maybe this monster is weak. A great god said so in order to relieve stress. At this moment, Yi Tian shot. Boom! Yi Tian slashed towards slaughtering soul abyss, the terrifying blade chi ripped apart the void, shattered the law, and even the huge slaughtering soul abyss shattered into pieces. Roar! A beast roar came from the depths of soul slaughtering abyss. Its sound spread throughout the galaxy, shaking the entire galaxy. Inside the spaceship, the galaxy level and the great god level were relatively close, and they were shocked by the sound, and the weak were not lightly injured and groggy. Rewind, rewind. Someone manipulated the spacecraft to evacuate this area, away from the battlefield. Boom! Yi Tian fought against the creatures of destruction. In an instant, this continent turned into cosmic dust, and even the forbidden battlefield like soul slaughtering abyss turned into nothingness, so he couldn't stand the battle of such a strong person as Yi Tian. Far away, the spaceship stopped, and everyone was stunned when they looked at the disappearing soul slaughter abyss and the mainland. The terrifying power was completely beyond their expectations. This power is too terrifying. True Monarch Baofo said in horror. Although he is not at the peak of the galaxy level, he has also seen the powerhouse at the peak of the galaxy level. Compared with Yi Tian, he is countless times weaker. Moreover, the strength of that monster is too terrifying. Fortunately, it was Yi Tian who fought with him. If it was his words, let alone resist, he couldn't even bear the aura of a monster. Although this destroying creature is not powerful, it also possesses the power of a cosmic god, and it is a not weak cosmic god, much stronger than the original martial arts. Yi Tian said solemnly, at the beginning of martial arts, under the protection of the power of the wilderness, it was difficult to kill, but compared with destroying creatures, the life-saving ability of destroying creatures was even more terrifying. He had just hit the destroying creature with a few knives, leaving a long crack on the opponent, but he recovered in an instant. Such a physique is much more powerful than any undead talent, healing talent, and life talent. No wonder even the Master of Darkness said that destroying creatures is difficult to kill. This is just a destructive creature in the universe god realm. If it is a destructive creature with supreme combat power, wouldn't it be terrifying to the extreme? No wonder even all races in the universe must unite to fight against the destructive creature. Yi Tian exclaimed, Black Lotus Realm, wow! The destruction creature was covered by Yi Tian's chaotic true skill, the Black Lotus Realm, and then the Black Lotus Realm was annihilated, but the destruction creature broke through the annihilation of the Black Lotus Realm, but the body was still seriously injured. Then, Yi Tian slashed with all his strength, slashing out the ultimate strike of the ultimate swordsmanship, and without reservation, smashed into one eye of the destroying creature, directly penetrated into the body of the destroying creature, and inflicted heavy damage on it. But even so, this destructive creature quickly healed most of the injuries, only minor injuries. Time has passed. Yi Tian launched a protracted and fierce battle with this destructive creature. This galaxy was almost blown up, and then spread to other galaxies. Fortunately, Zhenjin Baofo and others arranged to remove all the attached humans, otherwise many people would surely be affected. This battle quickly attracted the attention of some powerhouses, and even the powerhouses in the center of Panyu came. The edge of the battlefield. Baofo Zhenjin and others are still watching from a distance, and even use the technique of projection to project the battlefield situation. Although the technique of projection is often interrupted by terrifying power, they can still see the battle under constant projection happening. Suddenly, a battleship flew over with the symbol of the Temple of Desolation on it. Is this the battleship of the Overlord level Power God's Wasteland Temple? Someone exclaimed. Soon, the battleship stopped, and several peak star powerhouses came out. Zon Allah, Purple Star Lord, Lord Pupil. A well-known galaxy-level power in Panyu appeared here. Some great gods may not know these galaxy-level powers, but those galaxy-level powerhouses have also been to the Ganges system, and naturally know these famous galaxy-level powers. Immediately, these galaxy-level leaders took the lead and met these galaxy-level powers. How is the situation of the envoy of the town, the Lord Wanfa Zhenjin, fighting that monster? Zon Allah asked. It's still fighting, but the envoy of the town has the upper hand. The way of the Buddha. Then, they showed the projection situation to these galaxy-level experts. What a horrible monster. Zon Allah and others' faces changed drastically. I am afraid that the strength of this monster is higher than that of the palace master. Lord Zixing frowned. Yeah, judging from the battle situation, this monster's strength is not only stronger than our hall master, but even the valley master of the Heartless Valley and the sect master of the Eternal Sect are no opponents. I am afraid that only the Undying Army master of the Undying Legion can compare with it. But the recovery ability of the head monster is very terrifying. It was torn apart by the Lord Wanfa Zhenjin, Liao Jiao, and it can be healed quickly, and the fighting power is not reduced. I am afraid that the Undead Army Master will be unable to do anything about this monster. It's hard to imagine that true Monarch Wanfa is only at the pinnacle of the galaxy level, and his combat power is so terrifying. No wonder the newly promoted Cosmic God Sword Feather was instantly killed by true Monarch Wanfa. The conversation of these galaxy-level powers completely shocked Baofo Zhenjin and others. They knew before that Yi Tian killed the God of Sword Feather, the God of the universe, but thought that he killed the God Lord Sword Feather through a tough fight. After all, they didn't collect much information, they were just hairsayers. Only now did I know that Yi Tian killed a cosmic god in seconds. Moreover, from the evaluations of these galaxy-level powers, Yi Tian seems to be much more powerful than the godly Desolate Hall's Hall Master, Heartless Valley Master and Eternal Sect Master. I didn't expect such a monster to be born in our little galaxy. Zhenjin Baofo and others secretly said. Undoubtedly, compared to other people, Yi Tian is more like a monster. Chapter 658 Pluto and #039, S Soul Spear. Just as Zhenjin Baofo was chatting with these galaxy-level experts, powerful breaths came. Then, several figures appeared one by one. God Zon and the others immediately showed respect when they saw these people who had moved from the tearing space. These people are not space talents, but rely on powerful force to forcibly tear the space, and achieve the effect similar to the space talents manipulating the space. Many galaxy-level and galaxy-level people can do this, but it's just a matter of how far away the space is. But the reason why Zon Allah is so respectful is because of the identities of these people. Meet the Hall Master, the Heartless Valley Master, the Eternal Sect Master, and the Undying Army Master. Zon Allah and others greeted him respectfully. Baofo Zhenjin and others did not know the Undead Army Master and others, but when they saw the names of Zon Junju and others, they immediately worshipped. Meet the Undead Army Lord, the Goddess Baron Hall Lord, the Ruthless Valley Lord, the Eternal Sect Lord. These four are the heads of the four Overlord-level forces in Panyu, and it can be said that they are the four with the highest status in Panyu. In the past, Allah Baofo was not qualified to meet the powerhouses of the universe gods, but now he was fortunate enough to see them, and he saw four of them at once. The Undead Army Master and others nodded lightly, which was a response to Zon God and others. To them, the God of the universe, Zon God and others are just subordinates and weaklings, there is no need to be so polite, and as for the God of the Buddha, it is even less worth mentioning, they are not even interested in taking a look. At this time, their attention was all focused on Yi Tian's battle with the destroying creature. After watching for a while, the Temple Master of the Temple of Divine Desolation frowned and said, "This monster's strength is above me, and it is difficult to hurt it. If it is against it, I am afraid that I can only choose to escape, and there is not even a hope of escaping. Among us, I am afraid that only the Undead Army Master has the ability to fight against him. I didn't expect that the strength of the true monarch of Wanfa would be so terrifying, that he could overwhelm this monster," said the Master of the Heartless Valley. The Undead Lord pondered for a while, and then shook his head. Although I can fight this monster, I can't help him. The strength of the Lord of 10,000 Laws has surpassed me, and his growth rate is terrifying. Not long ago, I thought it would take a long time for true monarch Wanfa to surpass me, but I didn't expect that his strength would reach such a level not long after that. Do you know the origin of this monster? The sect master of the ancient sect suddenly asked. Several other universe gods shook their heads one after another, expressing that they did not know. Undead Army Lord, you have a connection with the supreme palace of the human race, don't you know it? Asked the Lord of the godly desolate palace. The undead Lord said with a heavy face, I don't know either. A cosmic god I am familiar with has a certain position in the supreme hall of the human race, but he fell and died not long ago. Later, I also learned from other cosmic gods. A bit of news, it is said that the human race participated in a battle, and only the top cosmic gods and the powerhouses above the realm of domination are eligible to participate, and our human race has lost some cosmic gods and masters. Almost lost a top existence. What? The faces of the gods and gods, the ruthless valley, and the sect master of the ancient sect changed greatly, and they were completely shocked by the news revealed by the undead army master. Then, the undead army master said again, not long after that, some monsters appeared in the major star regions of the human race. The strength of these monsters is very terrifying, and the lowest level is comparable to the universe god. I also went to investigate after the monsters appeared in the disk region. Otherwise, I can't know that this monster is so terrifying. I guess that the fall of the cosmic gods and masters of the human race has something to do with these monsters. Hearing this, the hall master of the godly desolate palace, the valley master of the heartless valley, and the sect master of the eternal sect became a little nervous. Although the monster fighting Yi Tian was powerful, it did not make them completely desperate, but if the undead army master's guess was correct, it meant that this monster was just a low-level CJFI monster, and there were even more terrifying monsters. If they met, wouldn't they be dead? True monarch Wanfa may know. When true monarch Wanfa solves this monster, let's ask. The undead lord suggested. The lord of the godly hall and the others nodded. Kill. Yi Tian was constantly fighting against the creatures of destruction, exerting all his strength and immortal power. His terrifying power completely overwhelmed the power of destroying creatures, and his physical body was strong, his physique was super strong, coupled with various recovery talents, it was almost difficult for Yi Tian to be injured. Even if he was injured, he could transfer the damage. Therefore, Yi Tian worked very hard and was not afraid at all. Time passes little by little. After a long time, the destruction of creatures is still somewhat unbearable. Afterwards, Yi Tian attacked with all his strength, making the creature's injury more and more serious. Seeing that the destroying creature was seriously injured, Yi Tian suddenly had a thought. He wants to test the soul attack secret technique. He practiced the Pluto secret tome, and the strength of the immortal soul reached the Pluto level, and almost reached the mid-stage Pluto level, which was equivalent to the pinnacle of the galaxy level. If the soul of the destroying creature is very strong, Yi Tian will hardly hurt his soul. But now this universe is very severely suppressing the soul together. If Yi Tian broke the restriction, it would be difficult to achieve something in the soul together. Therefore, the soul of destroying creatures is definitely not strong, after all, their wisdom is not high. If the destroyed creature is not injured, its own power will isolate part of the soul power. After all, the power of the universe god level has already involved the three aspects of spirit, chi and spirit, and it can resist the impact of the soul. But now, the destruction of creatures is severely damaged, and the defense against soul attacks must be weak. Therefore, Yi Tian wanted to use the soul secret technique. After all, such a good experimental material is not easy to find. Just try the Pluto Spirit Spear. Yi Tian secretly said. The Pluto Soul Spear is a kind of soul attacking secret technique recorded in the Pluto Secret Tome, far exceeding the soul secret technique of this universe. This is the real soul secret technique. Boom. A huge phantom appeared from Yi Tian's body, which was the projection of Yi Tian's ghost general level immortal soul. I saw a huge phantom holding a spear and slammed towards the destruction creature. Pluto Soul Spear, stab. This blow spanned time and space, and aimed directly at the soul of the destroyed creature. Next moment, Pluto's soul spear penetrated the body of the destroying creature, as if it directly fixed the destroying creature in this void. Then, the destroyer didn't move. Other souls are collapsing, and the aura of destruction is also beginning to collapse. Died. Yi Tian was a little surprised. He actually killed the soul of the destroyed creature with the Pluto soul spear. The weakness of destroying creatures is the soul. 1. Yi Tian suddenly realized. Chapter 659 The Return of Kunwu Supreme. One more. The weakness of destroying creatures is the soul, which is actually a weakness of all practitioners in this universe. However, the spiritual protection of the cultivators is stronger than that of destroying creatures. At the very least, cultivators at the cosmic god level will definitely have powerful soul defense treasures. In addition, although the souls of the universe gods are weak, they are relatively tough, and it is not too easy to be annihilated. And the soul of this creature that destroys is very weak, weaker than the average universe god. Otherwise, Yi Tian would not be able to annihilate the soul of this creature with a single blow. Far away, the undead army masters were also quite shocked when they saw Yi Tian kill the destroying creature. They thought that Yi Tian still needed a little time to kill the destroying creature, or that the destroying creature used some means to escape successfully. Unexpectedly, Yi Tian killed the destroying creature in an instant just now, and also used the soul secret technique. What a terrifying secret art of the soul breath is far beyond my imagination. How can this happen? The realm of the true Lord of all methods is at the peak of the galaxy level. Although the immortal soul can be enhanced, there are treasures in the universe that can enhance the soul. Too few, and the effects are very general. But the immortal soul of the true monarch Wanfa is not only 10 times, 100 times, and 1,000 times stronger than an ordinary galaxy-level powerhouse, but a more terrifying degree of power that is far beyond calculation. Even a person like me, no cosmic god can compare to it. If I can't protect my soul, I will be instantly killed by myriad laws with the soul secret technique. The undead warrior thought. The other 3 universe gods also thought of this, and they were all shocked. At this moment, their gazes towards Yi Tian were filled with awe. In the past, they might only regard Yi Tian as a genius with unlimited potential, but not Yi Tian's strength, thinking that Yi Tian is only a rising star no matter how strong he is. But now, Yi Tian has truly surpassed them, reaching a point that they could never reach in their entire lives, and the gap between them will become bigger and bigger in the future. The Lord of all laws. The Lord of all laws. The Lord of all laws. 1. The undead army master and other gods of the universe flew in front of Yi Tian and said respectfully. You are here too, Yi Tian said softly. In fact, he had already discovered that the undead lord and others were coming, but the undead lord and others couldn't help at all, so he didn't ask them to take action. True monarch Wanfa, what is the origin of this monster? It seems that some monsters have appeared in the major star regions of the human race, and I don't know where they came from. The undead warrior asked curiously. I do know the origin of this monster, Yi Tian admitted. However, it's not good for you to know too much, because this involves an important secret. If it wasn't for my special status, I wouldn't be able to know this secret. When the undead army master and other universe gods heard it, they knew that this monster's identity was not simple, and it had a great origin. Their level is too low to involve such secrets. At this time, Yi Tian said again. But I can tell you a little bit that there are many monsters, and many of them are not even the strongest of our human race. It is the enemy of all races in the entire universe and will be besieged by all races. According to me, it is speculated that these monsters will not appear all the time, and it is estimated that they will be destroyed in the near future, so you don't have to worry too much. But for a while, you should pay attention and try to be careful. Remember, these monsters like to hide in destruction places with strong breath. Try not to go to these places, otherwise you will easily run into these monsters. Thank you for reminding the Lord Wanfa, the undead army master and other gods of the universe said gratefully. Immediately, the undead army master and others left. At this time, Zhenjin Baofo and the others were ready to come over to chat with Yi Tian and compliment Yi Tian. After all, Yi Tian came from the Milky Way, and he was so powerful that he was almost the #1 expert in the disc domain. If you can have a little relationship with Yi Tian, wouldn't it be developed in the future? But before they came over, Yi Tian moved everyone out of the spaceship, and then Yi Tian left with the spaceship. Before leaving, he only left one sentence. The monster has been resolved, and the galaxy is temporarily safe. If something similar happens in the future, just notify the Tianj branch on Earth. If the Tianj branch has a way to contact the Tianj headquarters, I will naturally know. After saying this sentence, Yi Tian is no longer in the starry sky. Shortly after, Tianlin Giant City, Tianj headquarters. Yi Tian is back. The first time, his wife Xiao Yu came over and asked about the situation. For flowers, husband, how is the situation in the Milky Way? Xiao Yu asked. Yi Tian said, there is a destroying creature over there, and I killed it. Xiao Yu also knew about the destruction of the creature, because Yi Tian informed Yi Tian of the situation of the destruction of the creature after learning the origin of the creature's destruction from the Dark Lord. Therefore, Xiao Yu also knew the horror of destroying creatures. Therefore, not only was Xiao Yu not excited at this time, but instead showed a worried look. Husband, those destroying creatures are too powerful, and now those supreme beings are probably very busy and may not have time to pay attention to you. When it comes to terrifying creatures of destruction, what do you do? During this time, try not to go out. 1. 0. It is good. Yi Tian nodded. He wouldn't go out if it wasn't for the Milky Way. And the human race will not let him help at a galaxy level, so for the time being, he doesn't need to go out anymore. Seeing Yi Tian agree, Xiao Yu breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. In the following days, Yi Tian started a new round of cultivation. Per compression expands Chaos Ancient. Although his cultivation has reached the peak of the galaxy level, the ancient world of chaos can still expand and has not yet reached the limit of the galaxy level. Therefore, Yi Tian will not give up his practice in the ancient world of chaos. At the same time, Yi Tian is also comprehending the Chaos Dao, and strives to comprehend the Chaos Dao to the realm of Dharma signs as soon as possible. Once he has reached the Chaos Dao Dharma phase, then Yi Tian's strength will be one step closer. In a flash, a year has passed. During this year, the incidents of monster attacks in the major star regions of the human race have become rare, but there are still news of the human race cosmic god or the fall of the master. Although it is rare, it still exists. You must know that each of the top universe gods and masters is a huge loss. Even if they can be resurrected with the help of Zichen wood, the price is so great that it may be no less than the cost of cultivating a master. This day, Yi Tian got the news that Kunwu Supreme returned to the Supreme Hall of Human Race. The first time, Yi Tian went to the Supreme Hall of the Human Race and asked to see the Supreme Kunwu. Chapter 660 Destroying the Realm of the Abyss. Open black lens bracket second update close black lens bracket. The human race is supreme. Yi Tian soon met Kunwu Supreme, and met with Kunwu Supreme in Kunwu Hall. Kunwu Palace. When Yi Tian saw Kunwu Supreme, he found that Kunwu Supreme's breath was a little weak, and it was obviously injured, but the injury was not very serious, much lighter than the previous Gloom Lord's injury. I have seen Kunwu Supreme. Yi Tian bent down to meet the Dao. It's not bad to hear that you beheaded a creature of destruction in Panyu. Kunwu Supreme praised. What I killed was only the weakest creature, it's not worth mentioning. Yi Tian said modestly. Even the weakest destroying creature is very remarkable. After all, the destroying creature is too difficult to deal with, and the average cosmic god is not even qualified to compete with the weakest destroying creature. Unfortunately, your current cultivation base is only a galaxy. It would be great if you were in the Supreme Realm now. Kunwu Supreme sighed. If 027, Yi Tian is the Supreme, it is definitely the most terrifying Supreme, maybe he can sweep the abyss of destruction with his own power. But now, Yi Tian has not really grown up. Kunwu Supreme, how is the abyss of destruction now? Yi Tian asked curiously. This time he came here mainly to inquire about the situation of the shattered abyss. After all, he knew a little more before he was prepared. If the situation was more serious, he would be able to take measures to deal with it. Stable, but not completely resolved. Kunwu Supreme rode. The most terrifying destructive creature in the depths of the abyss was suppressed by the first god and the first devil of the gods and demons. And other powerful destructive creatures that fled into the universe were also found one by one. Beheaded, even the weak creatures of destruction are not much left. It will not be long before they will be found and killed one by one. Now, some strong men of various races are joining forces in the abyss of destruction on the periphery of the strangulation to quell the turmoil. According to past practice, those destructive creatures will instinctively return to the depths of the abyss of destruction when they know that they cannot do anything about it, and they will not come out again for a long time. Hearing what Kunwu Supreme said, Yi Tian breathed a sigh of relief. But suddenly, Kunwu Supreme said, Yi Tian, although the turmoil in the destruction abyss has stabilized, we are going to let a group of talented practitioners who have created the way of law enter the destruction abyss, and you are definitely the most suitable personnel. It is more suitable than others, and your strength can be displayed to a greater extent in the abyss of destruction. After all, you have broken the boundaries, and the physical strength is far beyond others, even beyond our supreme. Quote. What, want me to enter the abyss of destruction? Yi Tian was shocked. Kunwu Supreme, destroying creatures can fully exert their strength in the abyss of destruction, even stronger than in the outside world, even if I can exert the terrible power of the flesh, but the combat power is definitely not as good as the outside world, even the weakest destroying creatures are not opponents. I entered the abyss of destruction, is it not courting death? Yi Tian refused on the spot. Kunwu Supreme explained. Yi Tian, I haven't finished my words. The abyss of destruction shields the origin of the universe, and none of us supremes dare to enter it, but this time is different. This time, the destruction of creatures rushed out of the abyss of destruction, the rules of the universe have penetrated into some of them. Although they cannot penetrate the abyss of destruction for a long time, it can last for at least a few hundred years. The reason why we sent people into the abyss of destruction is because there is a special place in the middle area of the abyss of destruction, where there are amazing rumors have something to do with the origin of the universe. In the past, some people entered it and gained amazing strength. For example, the first god of the gods and the first devil of the demons entered the place in the middle of the abyss of destruction and successfully survived. There are a lot of people who have entered there, and many people have come out, but the highest achievements belong to the first god and the first devil. It is rumored that there is a special world, but our human race has not risen for a long time. This is also the first time I know about that place. But this time the opportunity is very precious, and only the places for cultivators below the universe god are given. If you don't want to, I won't force it. Yi Tian did not hesitate at all, and immediately agreed. I agree. Yi Tian didn't want to give up this opportunity. If the rules of the universe had withdrawn from the abyss of destruction, even the Protoss and the demon race would not dare to enter the abyss of destruction and fight against the creatures of destruction. Now that the rules of the universe have invaded the abyss of destruction, the various clans have only reached the middle area of the abyss of destruction, temporarily taking control of that place. So, this is the only chance. If you miss it, you will have to wait until after a long time. Then he will lose this opportunity forever. So, he doesn't want to miss it. Seeing Yi Tian agree, Kunwu Supreme is more gratified. If Yi Tian refused because he was timid, he might be relieved, but he would definitely be disappointed. Because a genius who fears danger is not a real genius. Okay, I will arrange it. You can wait for the notice when you go back. This is also an opportunity I can give you. Next time, there will be no such good opportunity waiting for you. Kunwu Supreme said. Thank you Kunwu Supreme, Yi Tian said gratefully. He is also very clear that there must be many people who want this place in the 9 supreme powers of the human race, and there are even many people who need this place in the supreme hall of the human race. But Kunwu Supreme still gave him a place, he definitely valued him extremely, and even caused some people in the supreme hall of human race to be dissatisfied. After all, Yi Tian now does not belong to the Supreme Hall of the human race, but belongs to the Pavilion Master of the Tianj Pavilion and a member of the Divine Blade Alliance. After chatting with Kunwu Supreme for a while, Yi Tian left the human race Supreme Hall. After returning to the Tianj headquarters, Yi Tian retreated while waiting to rest. Day in 5 months, Supreme Kunwu sent someone to summon Yi Tian again. Soon, Yi Tian saw Kunwu Supreme again. Yi Tian, the time is up. I will personally take you to the abyss of destruction. There is still some danger there. If there is no supreme escort, you will not be able to get there at all. Kunwu Supreme rode. Yi Tian completely obeyed the arrangement. Subsequently, under the escort of Kunwu Supreme, Yi Tian came to the abyss of destruction within a few days. Unlike the abyss of destruction seen in the past, the abyss of destruction today is more terrifying and the pressure is stronger. And this area is full of supreme aura and some terrifying auras of destruction, making Yi Tian just sense it, almost freezing it. Obviously, this kind of power is only a trace, and it cannot bear it. 5.8 Near the abyss of destruction, the human race also established a small temporary base, and Yi Tian was brought into the temporary small base. Wait a few more days, and when the people are almost there, they will be sent to the place together. This time, the 2 super clans of the gods and the demons are in charge. Yi Tian, before you enter that place, you must not talk to the gods and demons. If there is a conflict between the people of the clan, it will be difficult to deal with it in time. Kunwu Supreme reminded. Kunwu Supreme, don't worry, I understand. Yi Tian nodded. In the blink of an eye, a few days have come. Some of the galaxy-level and galaxy-level top powerhouses of the human race have arrived, and there are about 18 in total, while the galaxy-level and galaxy-level of other races have basically arrived. At this time, 2 stalwart figures appeared in the void, as if covering the entire void. The first god of the gods. First demon lord of the demon race. Yi Tian looked at these 2 figures and murmured in his heart.